I remember last preseason when you were at Iowa State, the number 10 was getting thrown around. Like, we want this guy to take 10 a game. Is there a number that you're looking for or shooting for this year?
Pope, he kind of said 10 too. He said he doesn't want me to shoot the same percentage as I did last year, obviously, because that means I'm not taking enough. So I think, more than what I did last year, and he said he wants my percentage down. So
48. You have a little wiggle room there for sure.
Welcome to the Stay Hot podcast, another edition. Once again, appreciate all of you showing up on this glorious Monday night, June 29th, 2026. Remember on your way in to like the video, hit that like button, that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please do so on your way in. Our subscriber numbers have jumped up about 12 or 15 this week, so that's pretty good. If you follow me on the socials, share, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, please share the show. Once again, always expecting new members, super chats, anything you can do to keep this show going. I do this show for you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you stopping by every show. I definitely couldn't do it without you. So thank you guys for stopping by, and let's make this a fun night. Before we get started, I want to send out my continued thoughts and prayers for the flood victims of Eastern Kentucky, specifically Richmond. Richmond got hit pretty hard by the storms. And a lot of the videos and stuff you've seen, been some casualties as well. So we want to lift those guys up and say prayers for them and be positive. And we also want to remember Marley Kinney, the young lady who was found in Grayson Lake. Seems to be something crazy going on in that. I can't wait to hear the real story once it comes out. But as always, here on the Stay Hot podcast, we want to extend our thoughts and prayers to everyone who's been affected by the rain, the flood. It's just a terrible time. So just want to send our shout out to them and want to continue thinking about them as we move forward this week. It was a hot 90-plus day here. Man, miserably hot. But give the show a like. Hit that subscribe button. Let's keep jumping up. We're pushing 1,000 subscribers. Let's get some new members. Send some super chats. Let's make this show fun. Let's go. Let's do this. Preview. Oh, sorry. I fell asleep waiting for another Mark Pope commitment. Welcome to the Stay Hot podcast. I am your host, Patrick Kelch.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support. Big Blue Nation continues to show up and show out. Not to mention
small town roads, big dreams, gym floor scars, blue seams. I come from where they keep score. Real coach, real talk, real war.
Stay Hot podcast. I am your host, Patrick Kelch. All right. Let's talk about some Nikola, Costa Rica. Let's talk about some Marcus Spears Jr. And once again, let's give the trolls a little bit of attention because a UK fan this week trolled a Tennessee volunteer radio show, and I got the video, and it's absolutely great. I can't see your chat right now, so once I get done here, we will I will go back to the chat and answer any questions or anything I see or whatever. But let's go. If you have been following the Nikola Costa Rica recruitment, it probably has more twists and turns, ups and downs than maybe the Momcilovic commitment. If you remember the recruitment there, we're getting him, we're not getting him, somebody's moving in, Iowa State's jumped in. It's been a lot of twists and turns in this one as well. And you have to understand that because these kids are, this one's 17 in particular, and he's making a decision that could potentially affect the rest of his life. The last thing we heard or whatever coming into today, the UCLA, Mick Cronin, the Serbians on their coaching staff. I'm not one of these guys, but I know some of you guys are. You like to check Instagram. I don't even have an Instagram if that tells you anything, but early this morning, he followed a lot of people from the UCLA basketball program. He's no longer following them this evening. So I don't know if that means anything to you guys. It doesn't mean a lot to me. We've got some people on our roster that still follow people from other schools. You know, when you go through this recruitment process, you know, even though you may not commit to a school, you still develop relationships with people that may carry on long past the game of basketball. So I pay zero attention to who they follow on Twitter, Instagram. You know, I think it's good, good conversation piece, fun to talk about, but I don't think it has anything to do with their commitment, where they're going, so forth. The guy you need to follow on Twitter is Carl Berman. He seems to be the international recruiting analyst that seems to have a lot of information. He expects Nikola to commit soon. It's also been out there that Elijah Burns, who appeared on the BBN Unfiltered show last week, and if you've not had a chance to go watch that, watch Elijah on that show and talk about it. That was my first really getting an opportunity. I followed him on Twitter, but I actually got to watch him, and he speaks very confidently. He's well-spoken. I'd be shocked if he didn't have some kind of source, because he seems to know some things going on, and some of the things he said I've looked in the past tend to be right. So I don't know if anybody's 100% accurate in any kind of recruiting information, but I do want to touch a little bit on that. Elijah Burns said that he got some information from Carl Berman, who is the guy I just mentioned. I think it's at Berman Carl on Twitter, or at Carl Berman on X if you want to follow him. But he's kind of reported that UCLA has started turning their attention to a 6'7" guard out of Italy named Mario Götze. It's been reported that UCLA thinks that Kentucky's offer is too large and probably not one that they can compete with, which leads Carl to believe that he's going to commit to Kentucky. Carl also did say that he felt like Kentucky was a good fit for this kid. He felt like basketball-wise it was the right move, which is all good to hear. None of this is set in stone. None of this is anything that, you know, I'm not going to put my name on and say because Carl Berman said this, or because Elijah Burns reported this, whatever. But it seems like all things right now are pointing in the direction of Kentucky. But with the sorry, I hit my monitor. With the FIBA thing going on right now, I'm not 100% sure if they expect him to wait till the FIBA International is over, or if he'll do it while he's there. I do know he's playing really well. He was listed as a day one standout when they played against Australia. He's averaging 18 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Seems to be a stat stuffer. I mean, that's a little bit of something in every category. Shooting 48% from the field, 40% from three-point range, and he's shooting about 87% from the free throw line. So all that stuff you're seeing on the internet, and there's some of you that every time you read something on the internet, you believe it. I don't know how many comments, direct messages, and things I get on Twitter asking me if things are true. A lot of times this stuff that you're asking, I'm seeing for the first time like you are. I've told you all I don't have a lot of inside sources. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of fact checking. Carl Berman seems to check out from what I've seen. He reports on a lot of international players, not just Nikola but everything I'm seeing right now seems very positive for the Big Blue. So that's always good news to start out with. Let me look at some of here. Clyde coming in with the Power Ks. Love it. That's a swaggy PK intro right there. That's what I do. Amy lives in Richmond. Prayers to all. Absolutely, Amy. I reached out to you this week and just wanted to check on you and your family. I remember you said you lived in Richmond, and when I saw the, the news and some of the videos that was coming out from Richmond and some other parts of Kentucky, it was rough. Also, Larry Haslett points out that Trilly Donovan, if you don't follow Trilly Donovan or you're not in his Discord, I kind of advise you to do so. Trilly, he's been accurate a lot here lately. I think he's had some misses, but, once again, when you're in the world of recruiting, that's how you're going to miss some. It's just all there is to it. Like Travis Branham's one of the best, and he got fooled early on that fake information he was given. So how do you spell that name? Are you talking about Carl Berman? That's just simple CarlBerman. I'll put it in the chat. He's an international analyst. If you want to follow him on Twitter, I think he's pretty good. Larry can't spell Costa Rica without UK. That's right. I'm not real sure how soon he'll commit. It's kind of like, with the whole Crawford thing, they're giving this some time. It seems like, there was some smoke about UCLA leading. I think UCLA probably had a little bit more to offer. They could offer probably a starting spot, unlimited minutes. There was probably a lot. And like we talked about last show, Kentucky was in one of those positions. They wanted to back in their offer. And why wouldn't you want to back in your offer? If you're going to pay $14 million for this kid, which I still think that number's inflated, I don't think he's getting $14 million. I did hear it was around the $10 million mark, and then Kentucky up their offer. Crash is in the chat. He probably knows more about the financial part of it. But anybody that was going to get this kid was going to have to back end their deal, because why would you want to pay all that money up front for 1 year and then he decides he don't want to be there anymore and he goes somewhere after year one, which I thought may have been a possibility. UCLA for year one, things don't go well. Right before, 28, when he becomes NBA draft eligible, he'll go to Kentucky for that second year to get all that national exposure. So I wasn't really concerned. If we get him, we do. If we don't, we don't. If we don't get him commit this way right off the bat, we could possibly get him for the 27 season. I'm not going to get too worked up. I think we're good without him. Do I think he can make us better? Absolutely. But do I also think that there could be some potential chemistry problems, morale problems, things like that? I know there are a lot of people on the Kentucky bench and staff that want to win, but a lot of them want to do it with them on the floor. And how can you argue with them, when you're a competitor? Shout out to Pepsi. I never do a show without it. Still waiting on that sponsorship. Crash says he has to commit by Friday. I did read something about that, but I wasn't 100% sure on how accurate that is. But if Crash says it, I believe it. UK, Kentucky basketball team, very good next season. I agree with that as well. Clyde, I appreciate you, my man. I think we'll have a good team with or without him. I do too. But I think the good part about him is we know that he has to play 2 years, and, having him next year with Ryan Hampton and potentially Marcus Spears, woo, that could be tough. All right, that could be tough. What's up, Tim? Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate you. I think so too. Everything I've heard today is positive for Kentucky. So shout out to Mark Pope and Mo Williams, the closer, for getting it done. No, sir. No, sir. I like straight from the can. I only do that when I have to get a 2-liter. Sometimes there's sales on 2 liters, 3 for $5. And sometimes that's a better deal than buying a 12-pack for $9.99 or something. Elijah Burns, my man. What's up? Elijah, you want to come on the show, my man? You want to come on the show? I follow you on Twitter. Send me a Twitter, and I'll send you the link, and I can let you come on here and tell us what you know about Nikola. Mark Maggard, are you serious? Mark Maggard, is that the Mark Maggard? What's up, my man? I love you. There's no way to make a 17-year-old commit to that second year. He has to stay in college 2 years, but he can enter the portal. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's him. That's him, Crash. He said give him 10. Yeah, that's kind of what we heard, Mark. No, I'm the better version. Okay. That's fine. I like you as well. Thanks for stopping by. If you need to, hit that subscribe button for me. I don't even open those other ones until it's ready to drink them, Wildcat. Elijah, I coach in the 10th region. I'm real familiar with your new coach. I'm real familiar with the girls' coach at Paris. He's one of my best friends. I could probably give you some hookup there too. So I appreciate it. We should see how many Dr. Pepper's Peak Hagen Slam, 1 member per can. Listen, I will not drink Dr. Pepper. But if you're all give me 1 member per can, there's 1 slam. Who's going to be that first member? He'll get $2.5 million year 1 after May 1st. Once he affirms the agreement is locked in for year 2, he'll get paid the remainder of that first year payment. Okay. So, Mark and anybody else that's in the show, we will also talk to Elijah when he gets on here. Let me ask you this. Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Okay. That's what I was going to ask. Okay. Do you, man, could it mess up chemistry? Yeah, I don't see why it couldn't. I'm a firm believer. That anytime you play at the big league level and you get somebody new that may take some of your minutes, it could create some chemistry problems. However, I also think this is another one of those things we talked about is he's going to make us much better in practice. Got another guy to compete against. This guy may even play a lot. 17 years old and he's projected top 5 in the 2028 NBA draft. This kid's talented. I've watched his numbers, but Josh, I see you, buddy, and I saw your 10-3 comment about the football team. I just wasn't going to talk about football just yet. But I will tell you, I no way see us going 10-3. So, Mark, you want to come on the show? I'll send you a link if you give me an email. It's better than typing all this stuff out. Crash don't ever want to come on the show, and it's a lot easier when you got other people. But, his numbers were really, really good in the first 2 games against Australia and Venezuela. Their team's 1-1. They beat Venezuela pretty good. So I think he's had 19 and 18 points maybe. Bruce said he's watched both of his games in the FIBA tournament, says he's tough. I think another concern for him at 17 years old is just physical maturation, physical strength. Just look at, Frank Kepnong. Just look at Florida's front line. But, he's a 6'9" or so perimeter player that shoots at a very high clip. And I think we need him a lot more for year 2 than we do year 1. But Jake Cornett, you on here, my man? I just slammed that whole Pepsi, a whole can. Nothing left. You said a member per can. Let's do this. But if you all search Nikola Costa Rica on Twitter, you're going to find about everything you want to find. And to be quite honest, there's a lot of information out there. For example, I saw where John Boy, and if you follow John Boy on Twitter, he's always asking about Costa Rica. He always wants to know about the Wonder Boy. Jake, I thought you were already a member, my man. Oh, he's telling me he's been a member for a month. I got you. Well, I was told that I would get I'll go get another one and chug it here in a minute if I can get 2 new members. How many? There's the wrong boy right there. But me and John Boy were in a conversation with this guy, and his name was Travis Petty. That, Travis Petty, that told me right there it was probably a fake, but he kind of convinced John Boy to believe that we'd missed out on Costa Rica and we'd signed some guy named Malik something. Well, this Malik guy was a college football player and it said that he was the number 1 recruit in the class in the year 2025. No, don't worry about it. I need your email, Mark. I'll get you and Elijah. I need your all's email so I can send you the link. If you don't want to put it in the chat, hey, what about if I send it to you through Twitter? How about that? I know I already follow Mark and Elijah, so I'll send it as a DM. Mark. All right, let me get the link here. Me Man Boy is pretty good as well. Is that who you are? You're Me Man Boy? That guy's pretty solid. That must be all right. I didn't know you were Me Man Boy. Me Man Boy. I feel like we just announced somebody's like we just uncovered a all right, sent, Mark. Let me find Elijah here. I can't DM you, Elijah. You might have to follow me back. Yeah, that whole Colin Chandler thing, I didn't put no stock into it anyhow, but I at least looked up to see when the video was. People were going nuts on Colin Chandler because he thought he said that Kentucky didn't take care of its athletes and, blah, blah, blah. But Elijah, if you're still on here, man, I need a follow back. All right. Followed back. All right. Let me find you. Damn, I feel like we got 2 big guns in here today. Elijah and Mark Maggard, what did I do to deserve this? All right, I sent you both the link. Mark says he's hiding from the po-po. Not at all. No, not at all. Why? How could he be taking a swing at Pope? He's played with Pope most of his life. This will be the first year. I mean, he's known Pope for a long time. He was talking about when Pope was the BYU coach. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what happens. I must have missed your email then, Mark. Where's it at? Yeah, I can email you. I don't know why I've sent it to your Twitter, but I'm not for sure. Can you email it to me? I've posted my email. Where'd you post your email at? I didn't get any email. I didn't see your email. I sent it on Twitter. I'm going back through the chat. I still don't see your email. It was a bunch of poppycock, Brian. It was. There's not going to be anything new on Jamal Crawford till after the Peach Jam, which is middle end of July. Elijah, did you get the link through Twitter? My Twitter is at PT. I see Elijah. Give me a second, Elijah. At PT. There's my Twitter. Okay, so Elijah was able to get in. So let's see. What's up, my man?
How we doing?
I watched you the other night on BBN Unfiltered. You got a fan. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, man.
Very confidently spoken. It made me a believer.
Thank you. I do. I really appreciate that. So, do we want to talk Nikola Kusarica?
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about here. Obviously, he's the big story that everybody's talking about, and it seems everything's positive for Kentucky right now.
Yeah, everything is moving in a positive direction for Kentucky right now. UCLA, I would say, is kind of slowly losing traction right now. The more that time passes on, it's definitely better for Kentucky than it is UCLA, who is really trying to get him locked down and across the finish line, which they have been at the finish line, I would say, for about 4 or 5 days now, and for some reason just have not been able to get it across. But as that's going on, Kentucky is gaining momentum. From what I can understand, Nikola Kucharica's team would like there to be no second-year deal, but both UCLA and Kentucky are pushing that second-year deal. And that second-year deal, whoever he signs, it will be a part of his contract.
Is that just because they don't want to pay all that money up front and him transfer after a year?
Yes, no one wants to take on developing him and have him leave for the second year when he's going to be one of the best players in the country in college basketball.
What's up, Mark?
What's up,
guys? Yeah, Elijah was just telling us basically what you had said in the chat about that second year.
Yeah, look, that's what's holding up Kentucky, always has been. Kentucky's got the biggest offer if you put both years together, but their offer's not as big for the first year without the second year. In every state in the nation, you cannot hold an 18-year-old to any agreement made by the parents. He turns 18 April 31st of next year, which is right after the tournament ends. So that's right when the portal opens. So his agents are trying to set it up so he has the opportunity to play some this year, get bigger, get stronger, become the man in year two, and then go back into the portal and command God knows what the prices will be next year. I mean, last year it was what, $3.5 million for the best guy. Now it's $7 million. They're doubling every year. So next year the agents think they can get 10 or 12 million, which ain't going to happen. But that's why Kentucky's been played. I don't believe any of the bullshit you're hearing anywhere. All of this is agent talk.
It is.
Yeah, they're trying to talk like Nova's got a chance. Where the hell did Nova come
from?
If he want to go to UCLA so bad, why is Nova now an option? It's all bullshit. Kentucky's always been the destination they're trying to get. They're just trying to drive the price up, and there's been no real urgency because he's not going to come over until August, mid-August anyway. It takes about 30 days to get the F1 visa processed, so he don't really have to make a decision for another 10 to 14 days before that clock starts ticking. So they've just been slow playing it.
Somebody had mentioned in the chat that he had to commit by Friday, and I saw that somewhere else.
He does not.
He does not?
He does not. He has plenty of time.
I saw something, of course, when you see something on X and Twitter, you don't really know whether to believe or not. So I saw that. I just wanted to make sure. I don't know why there'd be a deadline for him to commit, but
no. I think maybe someone heard that he wants to commit around the time of the U17. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but I can tell you that, the agent that's dealing with him now is a very well-known agent in that Turkish team, the same team that Pope played for. Pope played for that team back when he was a pro. What's his name? Our stretch four from a few years ago played on that same team.
Sestina?
No, the Kentucky kid, dark-haired kid.
Oh,
stretch 4.
Is it Derek Willis?
Yeah, Derek Willis.
Derek Willis.
Yeah, that's why you saw the photo of Pope with Willis. That's what they were doing. Remember that photo when he went to Turkey to watch? That's why Willis was there. Willis knows all those front office people. He knows the agents. So there's a lot more connections there than I think most people seem to understand. But yeah, I'm not buying any of this. I mean, look, he could go to UCLA, but so what? That just means we don't have to pay him for the first year. We don't need him as much the first year.
That's what I was saying.
The portal.
Yeah.
And how likely is that scenario?
I think if he goes to UCLA, it will definitely be that he'll be able to get in the portal.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to UCLA with a 2-year deal.
He's not going to go to UCLA with that 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Elijah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think the only way he takes his 2-year deal is if he comes to Kentucky. He's not going to come to Kentucky if that 2-year deal has not been reached and mutually agreed on by both sides.
Yeah.
We are not. Pope will not develop him for 1 year to lose him.
Yeah, the only way to structure it is to make half or more of that first year payment done on May 1st or after, once he opts into the deal. The state of Kentucky has a weird NIL law where you literally have to opt in. And all the other states, you have to take action to opt out. But in Kentucky, you've got 30 days after you turn 18, and if you don't opt in, it automatically voids everything.
So what is his appeal to UCLA? Is it the playing time, the role?
Well, I mean, look, UCLA internationally is a big market. I mean, it's not like they're not a brand. Obviously, the assistant coach there is one of the assistant coaches on the Serbian national team.
I did
Yogi.
see that.
Yes.
Yeah, so Yogi's obviously, and then they've got a Serbian player. It's kind of like us having, us having Milan and his parents are Serbian. There's a connection there, and obviously, if you're going to send your parents, if you're parents of a 17-year-old, you're going to send them to the United States at this young age. You're going to want to feel a little bit more comfortable. So I think those are the two connections. Obviously, the Michigan thing was, Michigan's got some money. I don't think Dusty gave a shit about a second year. They need him this year. But to be honest with you, I don't think the kid wants to play 25 minutes a game. His agents are talking about a minute restriction.
Is that because just so young, the physicality?
Yeah, physically. I mean, so it's kind of weird because he's 165 pounds, 70 pounds at 6'9", super long arms, but he plays physical. Like he will put a shoulder in you. Well, you're not going to do that in the SEC 25 minutes a game and as a 17-year-old and come out, looking good. And I think his agents realize that. So this first year, I think for them, they really want it to be more about, let's get him into a program, get him into a strength conditioning program, get him on some good food, let him bang with the guys in practice, maybe play 12 minutes a game, starting out, working up to 15, 18 minutes a game the last month of the year when he's physically ready and not beat the shit. I mean, where do you think that fits best? What school do you think is going to be able to – that's exactly what we would want from him anyway.
Right. And now that you say that makes me feel a little bit better because, I'm a high school girls basketball coach. And the one thing that can cause turmoil or tension is when somebody transfers in and they take minutes away from that kid who's been there 2 or 3 years and expecting minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so if he does come to Kentucky, is there anybody's minutes, roles?
Jerome and Mason. I think those are the guys that would lose out because what will happen is you'll have Wilkins take over the point guard spot when Zoom needs to sit, and then that's Kusturica's minutes at the 2.
So would you all consider Kusturica's game a lot like Milan's?
No.
No.
Puts the ball on the floor, got a dribble with both hands. Very, very, very slinky. Like very, very like old man YMCA moves. He's not going to blow past you, but he uses change of pace. He uses, being just physical enough to kind of knock you off just a little bit, and then kind of change of pace right around you. Very, very sneaky, and he's got while his percentages have not been great, that's normal in that league for kids that young. They let them shoot the ball. Like they want them to go out and test different things. And obviously, if you look at some of these, like I don't know, the games that he's playing in now, they're a little bit more controlled than the developmental FC Barcelona stuff that he's playing in. So I feel like when he gets here, shot selection is going to clean that number up quite a bit. He's got a really good stroke, man.
Yeah, he's efficient. He is very efficient.
It just seems like the European guys play just a totally different game.
Yeah,
they do.
You know,
and
just
they develop differently.
Their
and their
IQs,
recruitment,
yeah.
their recruitment is entirely different than high school kids who are the exact same age who are coming over. These 17, 18-year-old guys who are coming over to play college from internationally, their agents do not show them the location of any of these schools. They do not take an on-campus visit. They are not going over to the country to go watch. They are going to look and they're going to have their agents say, hey, here are the universities that are interested in you. Here are their playing styles. Here's your role there. Here's your minutes there. That is pretty much all that they're looking at. They are not looking at location, nothing like that.
So they're making their decision strictly from basketball.
They want a ball. They want to know, are they going to have the ball in their hands, and are they going to be able to show how great of a talent they are, more than how much money are you about to pay me?
And I was just thinking, you know, and I said it last week on the show, and it may have been a little out of pocket for me to say, but, you know, seems like if you want to, you know, play at the college level and you want to be on national TV every single game and you want people to know who you are with the teams that are involved, you know, it seems like Kentucky would be the obvious choice.
Yeah, yes. There's no doubt. I mean, obviously, even when a West Coast team is the best team in the country, hell, they start playing at midnight East Coast time. You know, like
that's what I'm saying.
Nobody watches it. Like, so as far as like marketing and branding, and that is something that the Europeans are particularly aware of, and the reason we're seeing so many of these Euros come over is the paydays, right? And I think while you can say you're going to make X amount of dollars at Kentucky and guarantee that, there's still more opportunity than that. You know, the difference with Costa Rica is going to be, well, he's on an F1 visa. So like you can't do the NIL stuff. Remember when Oscar had to go overseas and to the Virgin to the Bahamas to do all his NIL stuff? You're going to have to see that again, right? But they can play the rev share. They can guarantee enough money. I don't think it'll be an issue, but you do have to be careful with that.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful in that area.
So with the increase in money from last year to this year, I mean, what's it going to be next year?
I think there's going to be legislation. I think there'll be legislation.
There's
no way they'll let this go another year.
If there's another year, guys, it's going to be a lot of damn money. Like that's going to be, oh my God. Like the $12 million that you were just talking about.
Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there'll be 2 or 3 guys making, you know, 9 to 10 next year if it's not
Boom J.
Yeah, but here's the problem, man. Boom J is going to have the same thing as Kurica. He's the same age, can't sign a contract. His parents got to sign it, and you can't hold him to it. Now, I don't know his birthday. Maybe he might turn 18 during the season.
He's got to stay for 2 years.
No, I know that, but can he opt into the agreement while the season's going on?
That's the question.
The difference. That's the difference. Because with this kid, March Madness is done mid-April, and 15 days later, he's out of his contract if he wants.
Yep.
That's the part that's putting all the wrinkles into everything. If it weren't for that, he'd probably already be a cat.
There's one other part I want to talk about. So there was a lot of people asking, like on KSR board, like, why aren't we negatively recruiting? Why hasn't Mark Pope negatively recruited against other schools when we are negatively being recruited against? I can tell you right now, and know for sure, Mark Pope has said, hey, what did Mick Cronin do with Adimara? What did he do?
So do you consider that negative recruiting?
Absolutely. Saying and looking at a coach and be like, hey, this coach who had the opportunity to produce a lottery kid, what did he do with them? And then he goes right to Dusty May, and Dusty May produces him into a lottery pick.
Well, I mean, that's
I don't believe in the term negative recruiting, to be honest with you. It's recruiting.
Right.
Everybody's been doing that. I started scouting 28 years ago, and like that's been going on since.
I figured that would be my first approach.
That's exactly right.
To point out the things the other guy can't do that I can.
Right. Yeah.
But it just, you know, I thought it was kind of shitty on Dusty May to do that, and then 2-3 days later, say see ya. You know, just kind of, which kind of helps Kentucky maybe overall in the
Well, it's business. You have to realize they were going after Shire first. Shire said no. Only after Shire said no did Dusty even get the job opportunity, and within 24 hours he was gone. So
Right.
So he has to keep recruiting up until the day he's no longer the coach. That's kind of what they pay him for.
Of course, I'm kind of shocked. I don't know how Dusty will do, but I'm sure the money was a lot better.
I don't think the money's better. I think the lifestyle's better. There's not an easier job than an NBA head coach, man. All your scouting's done by your scouting teams. Like the reason all these college coaches want to go to the NBA is not the money, it's the schedule. Yeah, you play 82 games, but those are the only 82 things you're doing, and you're home every night. You're not out recruiting as soon as you get out of the shower, you're on a plane to go recruit some kid at 7 a.m. the next morning. None of that happens. The NBA lifestyle for a coach is so much better than college.
I can only imagine. I know what it's like for a high school coach. And it ain't nothing.
It's almost like high school kids are having to recruit now.
Well, and that's the thing. But like, at Pendleton County, we don't have a lot of athletes that, obviously Dante Allen was a little bit special. His sister was, I coached her first year, and she had opportunities to play college basketball and chose not to. But it's like colleges now aren't even unless you're top 200-300, maybe you're not getting looked at all. I mean, it's hard to, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to get a kid into college now.
Yeah. When I was actively scouting, I would track the top 500 kids for D1 schools. And most of those kids got offers. I don't know what it's like now. I haven't been out on the road in almost a decade, but anyway.
Welcome, Julie. All right. Elijah had to leave abruptly, he says.
Yeah, good to meet you, Elijah.
Yeah, I just saw him the other night on BBN Unfiltered, and he seemed to have a little bit of knowledge on, I don't know what his sources are or whatever, how accurate it is, but he knows more than I know. But so you don't think this kid starts? You think he's just kind of a role player then?
I'm not big into starting. I'm big into what are your minutes? What are your rotation minutes? And I think he'll be a 1B in the rotation the first half of the year, and I think he'll be a 1A in the rotation. The last 6 to 8 weeks of the year. I think he's definitely going to be brought on a little bit slower than normal for a few different reasons. Number one, I think his agents want that. I think he wants it. I think he wants to the last thing you want to do is expose a kid,
right.
And really hurt him, And one thing when you're lean like that and 6'9" and lanky, probably the first thing that goes is efficiency when you're not in game shape or when you're like banging up against big strong kids and injuries. Look, you're a coach, this. When do injuries happen?
When you're tired.
When you're tired. That's exactly right. When you're tired and getting banged around by grown men.
And it just seems it seems refreshing to hear that, because so many kids think they deserve more minutes than they actually do. To see a kid of this nature, highest level of basketball, realizing and understanding, seems like he's got the right people in his corner,
Well, he's also played against grown men. Like, he was the youngest kid ever to get moved up in FC Barcelona. Youngest player to ever step on the court. He knows what it's like to pay, 25-year-old guys.
Is that the best league in Europe?
That's the second best league.
I don't know the difference.
Yeah, Eurobasket is number one. Like a lot of but a lot of the Serbians go down to that Turkish league. It's the second best, without a doubt. Like, I don't think it's even close. When I was scouting, I'd go to Bonn every summer for 2 weeks, and they would have all those kids come up and play, and there were always a lot of Serbians that would come over. There were like these European tournaments. It's kind of like grassroots, but for Euro League instead of Nike teams. I'm sorry, something went off there. I missed you.
No, I was just no. It pops up every so often, says like and subscribe.
Oh, okay, got it.
I took it off because it was distracting me.
I thought I maybe went dead.
No. What do you think about this new 5-on-5 5-for-5 rule? Do you like it?
I think it's going to cause some havoc next year or two, while everybody sues everybody. But I think college should be reserved for college-age kids. I think those opportunities are important. I think with NIL, it's going to make it even worse. So I think the combination of 5 for 5 mixed in with some legislation from the government to maybe give them some protections. Or look, to me, I don't care if all the athletic programs go, like exit from the college and like work alongside of it. There's been a lot of proposals on how to make that work. So it could be almost like a minor professional league. I'm okay with that too. Whatever makes it work. Because I don't think next year, I think this is the last year that a lot of these colleges are going to be able to tap into the NIL that they're tapping into right now. I think if it continues to go up, because remember, it's not just going up for the guy making 10 million, 7 million. It's going up from the guy who was making 1 is now making 2.5.
Correct.
Like they're all making more money.
I feel like
I think when you look at programs like Louisville that are 30 million in the red, and they're and look at their roster this year. They probably paid as much or more than Kentucky. I don't think it's sustainable long term.
Well, that's the thing that kind of, BBN's unforgiving at times.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and there's a lot of dumb ones out there that don't really know ball. And I think the dumbest ones have the loudest voices. Those of us that have a little bit of sense don't really get into that kind of chatter or whatever. But, I feel like Kentucky, I don't think 22 million seemed a lot last year for the roster we had. And I don't even know how accurate that was. It may be 100% accurate. I don't feel like it is. But, we've got to spend more than that this year, haven't we?
I think we will end up spending more this year. If we get Coach Teresa, for sure. I think we have a much better roster this year than we did last year.
And that's what we were talking about a little bit at the beginning is, I used to be that type of kid or fan or whatever that I followed recruiting. And every time something new came out that was negative, I lived and died by it. As I've gotten older, I've learned that, the only people that really truly know what's going on are the people that are involved in the recruiting. So
Agreed.
I don't listen to it near as much now, but it used to be like, in the Mom Chilovich recruiting, it was like a roller coaster.
But it really wasn't, man. I know those guys. It was never like, if you read what I was posting on Twitter, I was always like, he's either going to stay in the draft or come to Kentucky. There are no other options.
I didn't know who you were. I didn't know you were Me Man Boy. I knew I followed Me Man Boy, and I knew I read a lot of the stuff. But it makes sense now because it seems like that guy knew a lot was going on. And I'm like, I had no idea who
years in the game, man.
Yeah, I'm like, but Crash says it seems to be TV revenue is one of the biggest issues with the legislation floating around DC right now. I don't know enough about that.
Yeah, I don't either. I see Crash post every now and then. So
listen, Crash pretty good. If he says something, I tend to believe it. But
I don't discount it either.
I'm just going through here.
But I'm just like, most of the time with politics stuff, I'll start paying attention when it's up for like being passed. Like when it's coming to the House floor, I'll pay attention. Till then, like with this stuff, man, it can come and go.
It's so what do you think the salary is right now without Costa Rica?
Oh, I think we're in the 20 million range. We're gonna pay Milan 7. We're probably playing Moreno close to 4.
Yeah, that's half of 20. Yeah.
Well. Zoom's got to be 3. Alex probably close to 3. And then Cam, they want to lock him up. It's not cheap.
You're right, and if you just bring back, the rest of those guys just at $1 million or $1.5 million, you're already getting close to 20.
Agreed.
How good is Hawthorne?
It's hard to tell, man. Like that guy. Look, there's too many guys that saw him shoot up the rankings for him to not be good.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like there's you don't see guys go from unknown to like 35th in the country in recruiting very easily at all. The last one that I remember doing that was John Wall. I saw him as a sophomore when he was at God of Word Academy. And then I told everybody that kid is special. And then 8 months later, he's the number 1 player in the country, But that doesn't happen much anymore with the internet the way it is and Twitter
right.
and as much social media. It's very rare for a guy like that, which is one of the reasons I think, I think Mason's going to be a lot better than people think. He wasn't playing on one of the big tours. He was playing on a very small platform where none of the guys that do what I used to do go to those games. They're always at Nike or Adidas, maybe a Reebok, but not an Under Armour. I mean, no one goes to those to get exposure.
Right. And, I've liked everything I've heard and read about Mason Williams. I was one of the ones that thought, okay, I didn't think that just because he was a coach's son, he was coming to Kentucky. I mean, he signed D1 anyhow, but just to hear him talk, he seems to understand and get it. Like, talking about Kentucky, talking about the fans, and the fans love their players, and we need to work hard for them. Just like he seemed to get it.
Well, Mo always got it. Mo was always great.
Yeah, and anything on Jamal Crawford other than after the Peach Jam?
I think it's done, man. I mean,
I do too. But is that when you expect it to?
Yeah, after Peach Jam, he wants to coach his kid, man. But there's no reason we wouldn't be. Why we still got the job open if it weren't, we'd have filled it by now.
I said they weren't in no hurry to fill that job position. It'll be open until he tells them no. Then they'll probably ask him again to make sure.
Agreed. And back when I was active on all the, Nike events, it was an open secret. Like the worst kept secret with the 4 or 5 coaches that already had a job, but they weren't announcing them till after Peach Jam because they can go out and look at kids and connect with kids and talk to kids if they're not employed by the university.
Right.
Like there was always 4 or 5 coaches that we all know who they're going to go work for. They're just not going to take the job till after Peach Jam. That gives you 4 guys on the road instead of 3.
A lot of the guys in the chat are talking about the 27 class. Of course, we got Ryan Hampton locked up. The new thing is now Marcus Spears Jr. Just, and I think a lot of people speculating that he's a done deal Kentucky, and he may be just because he's related to Hampton. I know in years past that hasn't always meant a lot, but I do know that Pope and Williams were in Texas this weekend watching him. And I know he met with the family and met with him and his dad. I shouldn't say family, but him and his dad. Yeah. But they seem like, according to a few people on Twitter, that no date's been mentioned, but they seem to have agreed on an official visit.
Yeah, I don't think it's a done deal, but I think it will be. It's either him or CJ. It's going to be one of those 2 guys. I'm pretty sure.
No chance for both. I know they play the same position.
Man, that's a hard one money-wise. Look how many guys we're going to have coming back. 5 for 5's done. Everybody, Milan can come back next year if he wants.
Kepnong's the only one that can't, right?
Yeah, Kepnong's the only one who won't be able to come back. Imagine if Milan comes back. Well, if everyone comes back next year, we got a $22 million roster, $25 million roster.
Not counting any new players.
And Spears.
And the thing, too, with, when I saw a picture of Pope and Mo Williams at at Texas this weekend, it seemed like they were sitting with a little bit more swagger than what they have been. Early on, I was early on in April. It was like I was almost, I don't even know how to, devastated.
Yeah.
It seemed like we were in the mix for everybody, but got nobody.
I think looking back, to be quite honest with you, I think we over evaluated our assistant coaching hires. I really do. Though anyone who's been in this game knows that it's the assistants that do. They bring the guy. They hit the triple to get on third base, and the head coach shows up and
sacrifice fly.
Yeah. I mean, he'll hit a bunt and score the run. But it's the assistants that do most of the work, and I think that was probably. I don't know if it was these guys just thinking they'd come to UK for a year or 2 and bounce that into a head coaching job.
I think that was Jason Hart's. Or his, yeah. I think that was his vision.
Yeah, I do too, to be honest with you. But I think Mo connects a lot better. I don't mind Fox sticking around as long as he doesn't have any input like he did last year. Like a lot of the stuff they started running after the first 6 or 7 games when we lost our point guard was right from Georgia's off. I hated that stuff, man. I really hated it. I know why he did it. I just did not. That's not what we hired Pope to run, and it just really disappointed me. But I think as a old guy who's been around and knows where bodies are buried, Fox is good for that. And I think I think that's fine. But if we get Jamal and we got Mo, dude, that's a hell of a staff when it comes to I don't care if they coach worth a shit or not, but I promise you both of those guys know how to coach.
Well, and I did hear something this week, or maybe it was last week, into last week maybe, that there would be an open position after this year. And I was assuming that was Mark Fox. I don't know any truth to this, but they kind of hinted around Rondo maybe.
I think Rondo's already too connected in the NBA world. He's been talked about for head coaching jobs in the NBA already.
I just didn't know if that was to potentially get his son, which, I think Kentucky to be in good position there now, but
yeah. No, I think if we got Jamal and we got Mo, I think Rondo would feel pretty good about sending his kid to play for Pope.
Two NBA point guards right there.
That's it. Two. And maybe the only guy with better handles than Rondo,
Jamal Crawford,
at the same
man.
Time.
Crash
for me,
says
it's Kyrie, AI, and Jamal.
What's this say? Mark Fox is in here chatting. Well, tell Mark Fox he's on the hot seat.
No, Mark's not going anywhere.
No,
I think he's here.
I think Pope owes a little, or Pope feels like he owes him a little. You know what I'm saying? Like he gave Pope an opportunity, and
I think it's more than that. I really do think that Pope really feels like he's got a lot to offer from like that maturity level and being around in the SEC. And Fox was always well liked. Fox, even when he was at Georgia, he was always well liked, and so I think that matters. He's also very connected with Nike. I think that's also important. Not that Pope isn't, but he's not nearly as well connected as Fox is.
Crash says, I will say that someone very recently told me if I hear anything about Crawford, they don't want me to share it. They didn't share anything after that, though, so maybe just prepping me to hear something in the future, which Elijah disagrees. He says Fox will be out the door after this year. I've got scoop on that.
When is after this year? Like what are we
I guess
saying
after
he's
the
going to be
season.
around? The season coming up?
He will be here he'll be here this season coming up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Look, 12 months from now, who the hell knows what's going to happen?
I just want to know if the price of assistant coaches are going up like the prices of players are going up.
I don't know if that's it, but Mark Fox is probably tired of this game like everybody else is.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the older coaches are speaking out about it. Like and was there an older coach that recently retired?
There's been a bunch of them.
But I thought they specifically pointed towards the wild, wild west of the NIL they were tired of it. And I think Izzo's made some statements and.
Yep.
But it's there's something else I was going to ask you. Made me think of something else a while ago, and I can't remember what it is. So you're pretty confident with either Spears or Rosser, right?
Yeah, I don't see how it wouldn't be, to be honest with you. We're going to have the money. Both of those kids want to play that high, like they Spears is perfect for Pope's offense, and Rosser's pretty damn perfect for it too. They're big men that can pass. They're developing outside game. Where else would you have a better chance to show that at a bigger stage with more NIL, with a bigger brand than the University of Kentucky?
Right.
Like who are you going to play for that's going to run the ball through a 5?
Well, I was going to say, and Mark Pope's offense utilizes, and speaking of, I saw where Amari Williams just signed another deal with the Celtics today. So
yeah, and that guy was never going to be drafted before he got here.
And I do agree that he frustrated me sometimes with his turnovers, but I thought he was a pretty good 5 for Pope. And
I agree. He made it up on the defensive end.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you also got to realize, man, you're asking a 5 to do a lot. And they don't grow up doing those things. Nobody's running that kind of an offense in high school or if you got a 6'8". Look, man, if you got a 6'9" guy, Patrick, at your school, is he going to be at the top of the key with the ball in his hand?
All right, man.
Probably
Appreciate you, Elijah. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
See you, Elijah. You know, like when I went to school at Glasgow, we had a 6'4" guy. He was our center. He never left the paint. You know,
had a 6'4" center too. I mean,
yeah.
Even at the high school level now, you're starting to see 7-foot kids, and
right.
You know, it's just. I don't know.
They come up different than they used to, for sure.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest with you, though. I see a lot of stuff happening now in the NBA and some college teams. I don't know that the 3-point shot's going to be as important 5 years from now as it is, or as it has been the last 5 years. I see a lot of big post players are starting to come back. We'll see if that trend continues. But
like the back to the basket traditional post.
Yep. I think we're going to see some more of that. In fact, I think we're going to see. I think we'll see Pope run some of that this year. I think he'll want to post up Malachi some. I think Kepnang, not great at posting up, not great post moves, but great in the dunker spot. You don't have to run stuff for him.
That's what I'm saying.
Find the ball.
He's kind of the perfect player you want on your team.
That's right.
He's going to work his tail off protecting the basket, rim protector, and doesn't really care if he gets the ball offensively. All he's got to do is dunk it.
Yeah, give him 12 minutes a game. You know, he's 40
Let him
years
use 5
old.
fouls.
Yeah, use all of them. Use all the fouls and let's run it, you know. No, I really like that. I do. I think the take that I've got that most people push back against, which I'll be interested to see what happens. I like Milan at the 4 better than the 3 for Pope's offense.
So who do you think starts?
I mean, if you let me pick them, it's going to be Zoom and Wilkins for sure.
Absolutely.
And then at the 2, it's either going to be at the 3, it's either Cam or Hawthorne, depending on which one ends up coming out. I'd put Milan at the 4, and then I'd put Moreno at the 5.
And I said Cam just because I pretty well know what Cam can do. I'm not 100% sure on Hawthorne yet. I know a lot of people. How's Mark Fox on here? But hey, Coach Fox, I'll send you the link if you want to come on here. Get on here, old boy. But in all honesty, I look for, if Kentucky were to say Marino's in foul trouble or whatever, any chance Kentucky might try to go small. I feel like
that's Njaya at the 5. That's a really thin small ball. You know what I mean? I don't know that it would help us that much, to be honest with you. I think a lot of it will really depend on how well the guards rebound. I think they have the opportunity, and Milan was never asked to rebound much at ISU. That wasn't his role. They didn't want him rebounding him, especially offensively. They wanted him out on the line to get the pass when the rebound was grabbed on the offensive boards. But I think if Milan can give us 4.5 rebounds a game, Zoom should be a very good rebounding point guard. Alex can rebound more. These are big, long guys.
I was going to say, our size is like 6'4", 6'5". Then, our front line is huge.
6'8" all across the board, man. We should be – I think we'll play a lot. I think we'll switch everything. I think you'll see a lot of switching. I think that'll be like one – remember the West Virginia team where we shot 31 threes and didn't hit any of them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's Walls. Was that Wall?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's going to look a lot like that team. It would not surprise me, and I know this is probably a hot take, but it wouldn't surprise me to see them throw in some sort of a gimmicky zone from time to time.
Their length, they have the ability.
That kind of length. That's right.
How do you feel about pressing?
I don't think this is the team that is going to be as good to press. I don't think the press works as much as it used to. Every 5-man is doing dribbling drills these days. Like ball handling is so much better now than it was 20 years ago when Pitino really got started with all that. And there's a reason you don't see it. Pressing to run down the shot clock, to hassle the guy, to get in his legs, okay. But pressing for turnovers, there's just too much risk in it. And I think this will be too good of a team in the half court with all that length to want to give up a lot of transition baskets.
That was the one concern. Somebody asked early on, it was like my second or third show, asked about, if you had to have a concern for next year's team, what would it be? And I basically said defense, but it was before we got some of the players we got, because last year it seemed like we struggled at times to defend in the half court, whether it was the pick and roll at the top or whatever. But with our length and our quickness, defense should not be an issue. What do you see? One weakness. What would you say would be one weakness?
Rebounding or defense would be the two that I would name. However, I put a caveat on that. Defense is the hardest thing to predict. I've seen teams where everyone thought they'd be great defensively that were crap, and I've seen teams that were everybody thought they'd be crap that were pretty damn good. So much of defense is a team thing and communication. I mean, you're a coach, you understand that. Like it's like, how well are you communicating? Are you passing off your assignment to the next guy? Are you switching things? Are you going under screens? Do you understand the assignment? I think that we've got some pretty high IQ basketball guys, and even though I do not think that, like, for example, Zoom, he's not a great on-ball defender for like a 6'1" water bug, severe Wheeler type.
Like a Tyler Ulis?
Yeah. Like, that guy's going to go around him every time. But who's he going into him? Once he does go around him, what's there? You're going to have Malachi. You might have Kepning. You're going to have Njai. You're going to have Cam Williams. Cam can block shots, man. He's actually pretty good help defender. So I'd like to see how they're going to scheme that, and I do think that's what Mark Fox is really, really good at, is scheming up those defenses, and I think that's kind of his role for this team. I'm saying that not from any knowledge base, just seeing what he's been good at Georgia and what I really loved about their teams and kind of watching what they've done so far. But I think if we scheme the right defense, I think we'll be okay defensively. Do I think we'll be ISU? No, but I do think we can be a top, ceiling top 25 defense. And if they score as much as they should be able to, if we're top 50, we're going to have a chance.
I definitely don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't be top 50. But, one thing I didn't think about, because at the high school level, of course, girls basketball is a lot different than boys. If you can lock down a team defensively in the half court, you got a good chance of winning, creating turnovers, things like that. But, I never thought about a zone with the length we have.
Yep.
That's stretches from the width of the court.
I think just our style of play is going to move us down 10 to 15 spots defensively because our pace is going to be so high.
This team in transition is going to be crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. Zoom is great in transition. Alex is great in transition. I don't know about Jerome.
I'm telling you, Usman Njai.
Yeah, he runs the court. Moreno runs the court really well for a big.
Some of the practice highlights showed how well he ran the court.
And he looks leaner. He looks more athletic.
I don't know if you heard the comment, but Moreno basically said Zoom Diallo was his favorite point guard to play with.
He's great, man.
And I know they played on like a USA try. I guess they invited 100, 200 kids, whatever, and they put teams and played. And Diallo was his point guard at that. And he said that was his favorite point guard to play with, which I know last year he didn't get really a fair shake of point guard because Lowe was hurt. And then, Aberdeen, in my opinion, wasn't a point guard, but he did the best he could throwing into a rough situation.
He got a lot better, man. I was surprised at how much better he got. But again, you're right. He never had a handle, couldn't create.
I just think he was ball dominant.
Yeah.
The ball had to be in his hands. But what about Cam off the ball? Or not Cam, sorry. What about Zoom off the ball?
He's all right. He's a much better shooter off the ball, coming off screens. Like unguarded threes, he was 52%. Now, he shot 19 of them. But again, that was never his role. He was never like if it's 15 seconds on the shot clock and he's got a wide open three, his job is to turn it down. Like that's the role that he was given. He's not going to have that role with Pope. You got an open shot with Pope and you don't take it, you're sitting your ass on the bench.
Right. And, and kind of reinforce that. I played at the very beginning of the show. I don't know how early you was on, like Maggie Davis's interview with Milan. And Milan said that, and I thought it was funny, he calls him Pope. She asked him a question. He's like, well, Pope told me he wants me to shoot 10 threes a game this year.
Well, that's what I said before he committed.
And he said that he wants my percentage to drop because he says if I'm shooting 50% from three this year, I'm not shooting enough threes.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
That's right. You're not taking enough chances.
And that kid, I don't know if it's been a while since I've seen a kid that can fill it up like that.
Look, the uncanny thing about him is you can close out perfectly and he's wide open.
and he can still get a shot. Yeah,
he's like Larry Bird. That's exactly
that's my favorite player of all time.
One of mine too. Top 5 all time for me. Bird's one of them. And it don't matter where you're at with Bird. You can be in his two guys in his face. You're either blocking the shot or he's wide open. It's one of the two. And Milan is the exact same way. He feels no pressure. The thing that's really unique about this kid is he's just as good dribbling side step to the left on rhythm, dribbling side step to the right on rhythm. And I'm talking big steps off, off the left foot, off the right foot. None of that shit matters, man. He's the same every single time. I've never seen anybody like that.
I coached against Jerome Morton in high school. We actually had a decent team, and I thought we had a chance to beat them. We played really good and still lost by like 16. But Jerome Morton, the guy, he just played a smart. It wasn't his style to take over a basketball game. He got if you 2 or 3 on him, he found the open man. He did what
he's supposed to do.
I could not believe when I saw that he shot 44% off the move, off the dribble. That's high level stuff, man.
Honestly, I think that's why he's here. If you got guys going under the screen on Zoom, you're just going to pop Jerome in, take a couple shots, and you're done. And then they're going to have to adjust to that.
I hope we do a little bit more like what we did in the first year of the backdoor cuts, of course I know we had the pieces he wanted.
Right.
Last year I felt like it was kind of like a situation to where we kind of went out and got what we thought was the best player for the money that we had, and necessarily all the pieces may not have fit. And then you're trying to force puzzle pieces here that don't fit. And, because I was a huge fan of Diabate, but I'm not 100% sure he was what we needed. Loved his toughness, loved his heart.
Love him at Alabama, hate him at Kentucky.
Right.
And it's not his fault. He wasn't a worse player. It's just he wasn't put in a system that allows him. People don't seem to understand how much role matters at this level. Like the difference between an elite player at a school and a pretty good player at another school is oftentimes just what are they being asked to do? Is the system they're in fit their skill set? And I think that was the problem with last year's team when you lost Lowe, like there was nobody left to run all that zoom action stuff. That is so taxing on a defense because every time you connect with a defender, you've got 3 options on what to do. And they never got past the first option at the best point of the year.
Well, the zoom action,
secondary and third wrinkles in the offense last year.
Well, in the zoom action that Pope runs, it's actually, to be honest with you, we run it too. Obviously, we don't have the same pieces or whatever. We run it well, but it's kind of like what Gonzaga runs as their continuity offense, kind of the backdoor cut, then the handoff.
Yeah.
But where Kentucky was really effective the year one was on that corner handoff. They'd set up that handoff, then the corner would go backdoor, and that was Oweh. Yeah. And him attacking the basket was just like ferocious. I mean, it's like Crash says, I don't know if he's being facetious or not, but he's going to run the Phil Jackson triangle offense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that ain't going to happen.
And that's the one area I feel like Pope, I love his in-game adjustments. I think at halftime he makes good adjustments. We've been down by double figures too many times. Came back to win to say that he doesn't. The issue there is why are we getting down 18-20 in the first half? Or but I think Mark Pope has proved that he's kind of an elite offensive coach when he has his
no doubt.
And the interview, one of the things Milan said in the interview was, and one of the reasons why he liked, and he said it in the interview, regardless of what all you read on Twitter, he said that, as a freshman or sophomore, he played against Pope when Pope was at BYU, and they were so hard to guard on offense because of all the movement, no standing around. And he remembered how he got his shot makers open, and he said it was a perfect fit for him, but he did say that the reason, how do you say it? When he talked about why he came to Kentucky, it was that I got off on a tangent, forgot what I was going to say, but he said something in his interview about. Go ahead. I'll think about it.
The thing, and I get a lot of people argue with me on Twitter about this, but honestly, I don't think you're going to see anybody play more than 28 minutes a game. Milan might hit 30, but in Zoom's not the same as Cal ball, right? With Calipari ball, you got one guy with a ball and everybody standing around watching.
Yeah, see if you can beat your man off the dribble, and if you can, something good's going to happen.
Yeah, make a play or pass it. Let the other guy try to make a play. The other guy, and we all hated it. And now that we've got something that's continuity where all 5 guys are active the entire time, there is a big fall off in that last 20% of your minutes. And you can't play 35 minutes a game in this offense and be effective. All the things built into that offense require you to give effort at every moment. And if you're not able to do that, you need to sit down because you're just making your efficiency look worse. And I promise you, the NBA is not looking at how many points you're scoring. They're looking at your per 40. They're looking at what you do when you get in for 5 minutes at a time, because that's the role you're going to play in the NBA. Unless you're Kobe, unless you're, right, like the man.
LeBron,
yeah. Most of these guys are going to come in for a 4-minute stretch and they got to produce. So seeing that at Kentucky is what's going to help your draft stock, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, I really feel like, the most minutes Pope's ever had anybody play was 32, and that was like an injury-plagued season. I think probably 28 is probably going to be where you're at, most of those guys.
I thought Marino maybe.
Marino 28 minutes, yeah. But, I mean, kept Nang 12 minutes. That's perfect. Perfect. Bring him in for, a 4-minute stretch. A 3-minute stretch every quarter, and be done with it.
I feel like offensively, this team gonna be dangerous.
I don't think Pope's ever had a team like this offensively.
I honestly, everything I've watched on Zoom is his ability to get downhill.
He is elite in the pick and roll.
Yeah. The reads, he makes the reads off the pick and roll, and when he gets in front of you, you don't get back. I mean, he keeps you behind. And
honestly, that's why I want Milan at the 4. Okay, you got Zoom coming off a pick and roll with Milan on the weak side with a pin down coming up. Zoom's going to make that pass perfect every single time. Every single time.
And I think it was earlier on, but like after they signed Wilkins, said Kentucky was the only team that had signed 2 guys that had like a 30+% assist rate or something.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, Pete. I mean, I don't know. I try not to get my hopes up too much because I hate being let down, but it's hard for me not to be excited on what we have already, even without Kusturica.
I agree. I mean, I've been telling everybody I think we're a top 10 team the way we sit.
And I'm okay if they put us at 15 or 16 to start the year.
They'll probably put us at 20.
And I'm okay with that.
Year. They all put us at 7 or 8 last year, and we ended up 25. This year they'll put us at 25, and we'll end up 7 or 8.
Yeah, and I'm tired of starting the season really, really high and then.
Yeah, watching it go. I'd rather watch it go the other way.
Yeah, other direction, absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at this, the way we play, dribble handoffs to Zoom, who's then going to be able to make reads. He's elite at that. Wilkins off ball, I think, is going to just really blossom, really open up. I think part of the reason he wasn't as efficient as he could have been was just the amount of time he had the ball in his hand and drawing so much attention. Then if you're having to guard Wilkins weak side, you can't come off to help Milan. Milan can get his shot in a second. Cam, I really want to see him get a little bit more aggressive with his offense. If he can just kind of turn that up 20%, he's got it in him. I just felt like last year, I kind of don't really – I don't count last year for Cam. He came in to play one offense and ended up playing a totally different thing that was not suited for him, right? Last year's offense was more suited for Mo than it was for Cam, which is crazy to say.
Right.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, there were some games that Mo carried us.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, and that was our number one offense is get it to him, let him back you down, get to his left. And
I think McBride is going to be Sixth Man of the Year. I really do. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people.
I don't think he's being talked about enough.
I prefer him to Donnie Freeman at the same money, and we got him for half the money.
Oh, I'd almost bet it comes down to it at the end. I'll bet has a better year than Freeman.
He may not get the same usage, but per 40, I think he'll have a better year.
And I'll be honest with you, I think too that it's a chance Freeman may not play the full year.
I think
He's injury
Freeman's
prone.
better suited to play for Patino than he was for Pope. I like that fit for him better. Congrats, buddy. I think he's at the place he needs to be, and I think
Right.
I think getting Njaye and McBride for roughly the same money, probably. I'll take those two over him.
Oh, listen, I'm excited about Njai. Like, I really am. And I think part of it is the unknown. But when you watch his film, of course, I don't know how good of the players were he was playing against.
Pretty good. That's a pretty good league, too.
And a lot of the things that have come out, I think Trent Noah maybe has said it, that he's adjusting very, very well and has looked very, very good.
Well, he's 23 years old.
Yeah, well, yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's not his first game. I mean, he's been playing at a high level in Europe for years now. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of problems with that. I think the biggest thing for him is just getting that shot selection like tamed down.
It was kind of
knowing
feral.
what a good shot is. What's that?
I said his shot selection was kind of feral. Like, it was all over the place. He
hit a lot of bad shots. He hit a lot of bad shots, man. You start taking a lot of good shots and watch what happens.
Yeah, and
Like-
you know, as a coach, you're like, no, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
yeah.
you know, out of our roster this year, realistically, how many guys you think actually come back? Realistically.
Well, Njaye is going to want to go pro as soon as he can because of the age factor. You can't
Right.
stick in college for another few years. I think Milan's going to have a real decision to make. I think his draft stock will improve because the one thing that ISU didn't do for him that the NBA wants to see is him in a relocation offense. He was just most of the time set in the corner and take a pass and one dribble move. This year, he's going to do a lot more 5-out motion stuff that the NBA is running right now, and they want to see how he plays in that offense. I think he will be able to kind of be, you know, well, let's just be honest. Depending on on what his defense looks like, the max for him, I think, is kind of late first rounder, honestly. But I think he'll be a very early second rounder next year if he comes out. Now you got to look and say
the draft class is weaker next year.
It's a little bit weaker, but that's always overblown, man. I really always feel like that's overblown. I still think for his archetype, he's not a 3-and-D. He's a 3-and-3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can put a guy like that. Like, that's a guy that can play 5 or 8 minutes a game. But you can't leave him in if he gets blown by every time down the court. In the NBA, they hunt the weak. You know, it's a superstar league, and they're going to keep running you off screens until you get matched up on, you know.
Listen,
what are you going to do?
High schools do that. Like, I look for the weakest defender, and I will put them in situations they have to defend, and whether they switch on defense or not, you know, basically who's screening for who to create the mismatch we want. So,
So I think he would have to go to the right school would have to have a late first round pick to take him. The right team, I mean, because you're going to have good rim protection because people are going to go by him. He just doesn't have the foot speed, you know.
Well,
but he's a pretty good intelligence defender. He's a good team defender.
I was thinking too, though, like with Milan, you know, if he's a late first rounder, he make way more in NIL. If it's about money to him,
but it's the second contract. You got to get to that second contract.
True.
Right.
True.
So
yeah.
The thing is, what is your lifetime contract value? Right. Now, you could tell me that Milan is going to be a EuroLeague player. That makes more sense to me than an NBA player. And if that's the case and he sees that as kind of where he's going to end up, maybe. But you know as well as I do, man, all these kids, they think they're going to be all-stars. They don't see that. And that's the way you're supposed to think at that level. But, I mean, if Milan comes back for $7 or $8 million for, you know, a fifth year, I'm okay with that, man.
You have to take him. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you'll take him.
But like Zoom and Wilkins, or that you think they're?
I think Zoom will come back unless he can show a really good 3-point shot. Because I think with his defensive liabilities on ball, the NBA will target him. He's not Drew Holiday, you know.
Right.
But if he can develop into a defender and get a 3-point shot off the dribble a little bit better, be more consistent, he's going to have that opportunity. Wilkins could likely go pro after this year. I think of all the ones that are going to have the best shot to be drafted in the first round, it's going to be Wilkins and Moreno. I don't think Moreno comes back after this year.
No, I think Moreno could be a lottery pick too.
Yeah. I think Wilkins Moreno, and honestly, if Cam shows what he could show, he's going to have a chance to go.
Yeah, he's got great size. I mean,
he's the prototype. He's a 3-and-D. That's exactly what you want.
And kind of like Darius Miller type.
That's right.
Hawthorne's dad is on a lot of Kentucky podcasts. He's always on a loyal BBN fan show. And I really like hearing that guy talk because like he's one of those dads that, knows, he's not one that's pushing some kind of agenda. He seems to know that, hey, my kid needs another year. My kid, like he pushes hard work, and it's like, so I could see Hawthorne coming back and obviously a second year, he may be a lot better. I mean, I'm curious to see what he can do. All of his workouts look great, but I never missed a shot in my highlight films either.
Yeah.
I shot 100%.
The good thing about Hawthorne is he's young enough to do 2 more years and be okay. See, here's what the NBA looks at. At age 27, you start declining. That is throughout the league, 27 is your peak year. After 27, you're on the downside. So 4 years to get to 27, that means you need to be in the league by the time you're 22, 23. Before no GM wants to pay second money contract for a guy who starts declining. That's what gets GMs fired. So that age matters, man. If you're 21 and you got a chance to go, you need to go because you want to get that second contract at age 25 when they can still say, okay, there's 2 more years of upswing on this kid. And that's why age matters. People gave me shit for saying I don't think Ortega's going to improve his draft stock by coming back. He didn't.
No, he was still mid-second round. Well, he went kind of earlier in the second round than I thought he would go, honestly.
Yeah, but that's what he would have gone the year before, probably. Like I don't think there was that big of a difference in him coming back or not coming back. But what it did cost him was a second. Like now, what is he? 23. So he's going to be 27 on the second contract if he gets there.
Right. Well, and I was just trying to think of how many spots we would have available next year for either transfer portal or class of 27. I don't know how many high school kids he's going to take. If he gets, I know he really likes Beckham Black. Black's playing really well in the FIBA U17. I know there's other point guards he's on too, like the Skip to My Lou's son or what, I can't think of his name right now. I mean, there won't be many spots for transfer portal if you're taking 4 or 5 high school kids.
I hope they don't.
3?
Give me 3. Give me 3 great ones and be done with it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I will say you're going to pay more for the portal guys.
Sure.
If you know that you've got guys coming back, go ahead and take the high school kids, right? If you know you got them coming back. But that's it, man. Like, I would rather have continuity with the team is worth a lot in this offense and this defense. Like the way Pope runs it, it's not like cow ball where you can bring a bunch of freshmen in and within a month they're playing pretty well together. The way he runs his zoom actions, they're very complicated. There's a lot of reads. There's a lot of instinctual stuff that you need to learn how to do that takes time. So I would rather have a 7 out of 10 in year 2 than a 9 out of 10 in year 1.
Absolutely. Makes sense.
I think that's going to make that team better. And I think Pope knows that. I think he overcorrected last year when he went for physicality and gave up some of that basketball IQ that we need, some of the skills. I think he's kind of going back to skilled players with length. I think he'd rather have skill with length and just be a little bit less athletic than like pogo sticks running around not knowing what to do.
Yeah, I felt like he was trying to match up with Florida. I think he felt like Florida was the competition.
Alabama, yeah.
Florida, Alabama, the way they play. But, yeah, I'd be happy with 3 high schoolers. And, I mean, back during the Stokes debacle, the common question I kept getting asked on here was Stokes or Milan. And I said 100% without a doubt Milan, just because I know what he can do. He's played the college game. There's going to be an adjustment period for Stokes as a freshman.
Yeah.
Defensively, I mean, I think I would have been happy if we had gotten Stokes because I think he is generational. I could be wrong, but I was very happy that we got Milan. No doubt about it.
Yeah. I don't know if I would call Stokes generational. I don't think he's Cooper Flagg. I don't even think he's not Victor.
Well,
like I think he's probably, I don't think he's going to be rookie of the year in the NBA. But he is physically ready. He's physically ready.
I think
I don't know.
I just think McBride or somebody like that that's like grown man strength guards him. I think it's going to be an adjustment. I don't think he's had kids at the high school level that can guard him.
Well, none of them have.
Right. Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, none of them have.
But I really think, I wasn't scared of Kansas before we signed Momcilovic. I definitely don't have any concerns now. I mean, I don't think their roster's that talented, to be honest with you.
I agree with you on that. Here's the way I look at it. When you got a kid like Stokes, when I was scouting players, the one thing I always look for is what's their third and fourth thing, because every defense is going to take away what you do best. That's what you're as a coach. Correct. That's what you scout. Correct. That's why you watch tape. Correct. What's your third thing? What's your fourth thing? What's your fifth thing? Stokes has a great mentality, and he doesn't force things. And when you start getting physical with him, if you double team him, he's going to find an open guy. Like, he has the kind of mentality that I always saw translate well year one. Having said that, in Pope's offense, Milan is a unicorn. Like, you saw what he did with Kobe, and Kobe didn't even shoot as much as we want Milan to. Right. I do think it's going to be 9-10 threes a game for Milan. I do think we're going to get close to – I think if we have less than 25 attempts a game, Pope's going to be pissed off.
I agree with that.
Come in transition.
I agree with that. I mean, I could see him pulling up for three in transition.
Yeah, agreed.
There's only one guy on the team I don't want shooting, and it's probably Kepnon.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want Marino shooting 5 or 6, but if he's out there on the 5 and they back up, I've seen him knock those down.
Oh, no. He's actively working that.
He made 24 or so in a row in a video in the NBA Combine.
Yep.
So,
all he has to do is shoot 3 a game and hit 1, and you got to guard him.
That's right. Yeah, just 1. Keep him honest. That's all you have to do.
Shoot 3 a game, hit 1, you're good. Now, I think he'll do better than that. I think he's got a pretty good shot.
I do too. I saw his free throw improve a lot last year from the beginning to the end. And like I said, I thought he had a hell of a freshman year last year, considering he was thrown to the wolves. He learned on the fly, basically.
And never got rattled.
No, early on, he couldn't catch the ball. He looked unsure. He literally, you watched him grow up. You know?
But he was always next play. Like, he never
That's the mentality you have to have.
That's exactly right. That's what I look for out of freshmen when they fuck up. What's the next play?
Yeah, because, if you're dwelling on the turnover you just made, it's going to result in a defensive miscue or, you got to have – and I say a lot play present just because, it's kind of the same mindset as the next play, but high school kids seem to struggle with that. They think every turnover they make is the end of the world and they have to pout and walk back. And, but I just don't see very many college kids doing that. And obviously when you're D1, you're not just a D1 athlete. You probably got a D1 IQ, D1 work ethic. You pretty well have it all.
D1 coaching, D1 practicing.
Yeah. And, it's just, I don't know how long you can stay, man. I don't want to keep you. We stay till okay. You just tell me whenever you got to go, man. I can talk basketball all night. We stay till 1, 2 o'clock sometimes, just depending on. But did you?
I don't get to talk ball as much as I used to, so it's always fun.
Well, great. Yeah, you're welcome anytime. Have you seen the video of the UK fan trolling the Tennessee?
No.
Let me. All right. Let me pull this up here. Watch this. Your mic will be muted once I start the play. Or the video, then it'll come unmuted afterwards. It does it automatically. But I thought this was funny. Let me see if I can find the video here now that I've.
0-3 on the road. I mean, at this point, it just feels like we're charity case to Kentucky. Brandon Garrison is the worst player I've ever seen hit the floor. And we're, 1-4 against 1-3 against them?
Yeah, but you won the one that
That's
mattered.
The worst Kentucky player I've ever seen play that many minutes, and we're 1-3.
Hey, man, at least you won the one that mattered.
Yeah.
Hey, the one that mattered. And how much did it matter when we didn't make the Final Four for the 117th year in a row? God, baby,
We knew it from the beginning. As soon as he came in saying,
I stopped it because he says some pretty crazy words there, but it's funny. I thought that was great. Then the guy tries to play it off like, we knew it from the beginning.
Yeah.
You won the one that matters. Yeah, well, how's it feel not making a Final Four in 117 years? Go Cats. I thought it was great.
No, I've liked Barnes for a long time. He was one of my clients when he was at Texas, and I do think he's a very good coach.
I do too.
I think he's I think the average fan doesn't realize how much luck it takes to win, to get to the Final Four.
I think it's as hard now as it's ever been.
It's as hard now as it's ever been, man. Everybody's got good players. There is no 12th guy on a championship team anymore that could start. That 12th guy is starting for a mid-major or starting for like your bitter rival. So I think the talent's getting spread out. I think that helps the game, but it's difficult, man. I mean, I don't think rarely do I feel like the best team in the NCAA wins the tournament. That's a rare feat.
And what bothers me though is I like Rick Barnes. Great coach, great guy, but I hate that he's coaching at Tennessee. I will tell. I'm just, I'm not as big anti-Tennessee as I am Louisville, Duke, whatever, but I've got a cousin from Sacramento, California that just committed to the Lady Vols basketball team. She played at Stanford for 2 years. And it's hard for me because, of course, I want her to do well. And I've told her and her family both, it's kind of like, I hope you score 40, but I hope you lose. Go Cats. I can't root for Tennessee, but I mean, obviously, if they're not playing Kentucky, I hope she does well. But of all the programs in the country, but
well, I'll tell you my funny Tennessee story. When I was recruiting or scouting, I was good friends with Drew Adams, who's now an assistant coach at Indiana. He was at the time an assistant at Tennessee for Bruce Pearl, and I was trying to get Bruce Pearl to take Phil Pressey. So I went to the game. They got me tickets in the parents section. So I'm sitting around all the Tennessee parents playing Kentucky when Meek scored 54.
How was you quiet?
That's the fucking – sorry. That's the
No,
point.
You're good.
That's the entire point. I had to sit there with Meeks draining threes in their eye, and I couldn't say a word. I couldn't say anything. And I took another a friend of mine at the time, Jason Spear. I don't know if he's still posting, but he went with me, and we're both sitting there just like – and the parents are like – screaming pee off. Anyway.
Yeah, and I remember I had a good friend of mine that played at Belmont. He coached at Pendleton, played at Pendleton.
What a great program that is.
Yo, and he coached. Of course, he talked about Rick Byrd all the time.
Rick Byrd. Oh my gosh.
It's kind of like you don't see guys that stay at schools that long. But anyways, he went to Pendleton County,
and he could have gone anywhere. Rick Byrd could have coached at Duke. He could have. He's one of the best coaches.
Just the offenses they run and the detail or whatever. But his name was Keaton Belcher, and he, of course, he coaches at Tate's Creek now in Lexington. But when he was at Belmont, he gave me tickets to a game at Knoxville. So I'm sitting there going, I drove to Knoxville, which is a pretty good haul for me. I'm up in northern Kentucky. And I get there, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'm getting tickets from the opposing team. These got to be good. These were like top 3 in the arena. The opposing team's parents, they don't get the seats. I mean, I guess maybe the parents get behind the bench.
Yeah.
But if the parents take those seats, you get so many extra seats, I guess you're allowed to give out. Well, I walked up to Will Call. I'm sitting there feeling cool about myself. Like, yeah, my name's on that list. I get the seats, and hell, I had to get a defibrillator to make it to the top. I was out of breath. And they took Tennessee to overtime, but Tennessee ultimately beat them. But just for Belmont to even be in that game, of course, they made the NCAA tournament several years in a row under Byrd. Gave Kansas all they wanted a year.
Dude, this is why you don't schedule those types of teams like in your pre-conference schedule. They can it's those teams that have been around for a while that are super well coached. It's hard to guard those offenses, man. They just have so many wrinkles in them. And you don't see that. You don't see that like in a normal college program. D1, high major, they're not running stuff like what Pope does, like what Hurley does. That's what gives Purdue, Matt Painter, I think he's one of the top offensive coaches out there. The stuff they run is so complicated, and you've got to recruit the right people for those spots. And I think that's a lesson Pope learned last year, is you've got to just forget the beauty show. Like, I don't care what they look like.
Right.
Get me guys that know how to play. Get me guys that can, and then just play good team defense. Like, I don't need a top 10 defense.
Well, it's and it's like Pope, I didn't feel, and I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just the pieces he had, but I just didn't feel like he was the same coach second year as he was the first year. He didn't look as confident to me.
I think there were chemistry issues that got to him.
How hard is it to, when you're recruiting a kid, how hard is it to know how they're going to
Very hard out of the portal. Very difficult. You're not spending nearly the same amount of time. You got to look, when you're recruiting high school kids, you're texting them, talking to them twice a week, 3 times a week, talking to their parents, talking to their high school coach, talking to their AU coaches. You have so long to kind of find all the intel. When you're recruiting out of the portal, you got 7 days to get a kid signed. It's a whole different ball game.
And, I just don't know how you can really. Now, I know you can look at hold on there. Yeah, Peanut, we talked about that. We talked about how he was in the Mark Pope offense and how he got that second year with Kentucky. Clyde, I said point received because he keeps saying that you keep bringing it up. Both of you stop. How about that? God, I love you both being in here, but if you're going to argue about politics in the chat, please stop. I know me and man boy disagree on politics. I see his post, but I still love my man.
I'm based.
Well, hey, here's the thing. I don't base on how well I like you based on what you believe.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, and if this was a politics show, I'd discuss it, but that stresses me out.
I feel you.
I'm trying to look. There's Dougie says they played pick and roll offense last year because they couldn't shoot.
I don't know if that's the case, man. I don't think that offense created very many shots. Like, you look at the difference between year 1 and year 2. I don't know that it was just that we didn't have great. I think Cam's a good shooter. I think, honestly, I think. I mean,
Aberdeen was serviceable.
Yeah, but he had to have the ball in his hand. It's hard to be that guy and shoot. But Noah's got a good shot. Noah did not shoot well last year. Cam didn't shoot well last year. I don't think it was that they forgot how to shoot. I think the offense was not creating the spacing. It wasn't creating the looks, wasn't creating the mismatches that they got the year before. And that's what frustrated me.
And I can tell you as a coach, being able to space the floor is priceless.
Agreed.
It opens up so many driving lanes when you got a point guard that can penetrate. And I think, last year, I'm thinking a lot of that is the reason why OA didn't have some of those same driving lanes.
Agreed.
We couldn't space the floor consistently. We couldn't, and I don't know if it was confidence with Noah. He seemed to struggle with shot making, and that's something I know he's capable of doing. I feel like he's not going to get much of an opportunity this year, and I hate it, but.
Well, Ortega's a lot more like John Riggins than he is like Barry
Sanders.
Barry Sanders. He's a straight line guy.
He is.
He can't change direction with a dribble going downhill. He needs something to help him just get that little bit of an edge. And Pope's offense year 1 did that for him, right? All the action happened off ball. It created mismatches, created people just kind of delaying that defensive positioning by half a second that gave him the exact opportunity he needed. Didn't have that last year. The shooters didn't have that last year. They weren't coming off pin downs and being wide open and 3 guys moving to the other side of the ball to take all the closeouts and all the help defense away. It was just cluttered last year. I didn't like any of it. It was for me. It wasn't I also think the players gave up. I don't think the players were dialed in, and I don't blame that on coaching. Patrick, you know as well as I do, it ain't a coach's job to get you ready to play the game.
I say it every pregame. You know, if you're not motivated enough to put on that uniform and go out there and give it your all, I can't motivate you.
That's right. There's nothing a coach can do for that. I blame Pope for what Pope didn't do right, which was not sticking with the right offense or not recruiting the guys that were going to be able to play that offense. I do give him a little bit of credit for adjusting. I do think they got better as the year went on. He figured it out. I think he learned a lot last year. I still think he's going to be the coach moving forward. I still like him moving forward. I still think he can recruit. I think that whole narrative is all bunk. I think people look these. Go ahead,
Mark. What I think is every time somebody enters the portal, every time a big-time freshman, either Kentucky fans or the media seem to always link them to Kentucky. And I know why that is. Kentucky still moves the needle. You know, it's if you put on Twitter that you got an offer from Kentucky, you're getting the likes, the views, the clicks, you're getting all that. But it's like I can't get behind, you know, these people that wanted Pope fired after the season, but now he's their favorite coach because he's put together a roster. But the recruiting thing, and you know as well as I do, if you've been in this game long enough, you're going to miss or you're going to whiff, so to speak. It's just going to happen. Now, why do we hear about Kentucky? Because they seem to get linked to every person in the portal, whether, you know, Kentucky would just have a Zoom call with a kid. He chooses North Carolina, Mark Pope whiff.
Right.
Well, Mark Pope may have known after that Zoom call that he wasn't a player for them. But because Kentucky made contact, it was a whiff. And I think that's the wrong narrative to push when it comes to coaching, because Pope did everything in the world. You know, they kept, and this is when I thought that Milan may either go back to Iowa State. I never felt like he was going anywhere but Iowa State or Kentucky. But when the coach put out the letter saying basically thanking Milan, and Milan kind of interacted there, but it's kind of like you got these fans out there that will, I don't even know. Like, it's just,
well, I think
they said that Pope laid out the red carpet for Milan. He had an offer. And, you know, even Matt Jones, who can be negative, even some of the other national media guys, which I'm not a Jeff Goodman fan because I think he doesn't like Kentucky on the field of 68. But, you know, I feel like –
promise you that. I can give you some Jeff Goodman stories.
Okay. Well, you know, I just feel like that if a recruit chooses not to go to a school, sometimes it's not the coach's fault. Sometimes it ain't about money.
A lot of times it is.
Correct. Nowadays. But, you know, for example, if Kentucky's offering Milan, or let's use Costa Rica, if they're offering him $12 million and say or UCLA comes in at 10, is $2 million enough to really, I mean, in the big scheme of things, 12 and 10. You're rich regardless. If he really wanted to play at UCLA, is $2 million enough to keep him from going there?
Well, here's why I don't mind going through any specific recruitment and telling you what I know and why it is or isn't a whiff. Some of them are whiffs, but like with Freeman, he comes on campus, commits to you twice. He told the staff twice he was coming, was recruiting other kids to come here. And then Pitino came in with a big offer, and then Freeman came back and said, hey, I'm getting 20% more with Pitino. Will you pay it? And we go, no. That ain't a whiff, man. That's us making a financial decision with the resources we've got, knowing that McBride is on the table and ready to come. Like, that was a conscious decision. You know, Wright, we all know what happened there. Pope ended that meeting.
See, when Pope said that, I thought he was talking about Gabe Dines.
No.
Because I heard that meeting didn't go well from the start.
He may not have, but
he was talking about Rob Wright 3 hours in.
About Rob Wright. He knew he wasn't going to come. He said, hey, man, enjoyed having you. Good luck back at BYU, and send you back.
Well, I mean, and I've created a list on here, basically public enemies number one, and Pat Kelsey's always going to be number one because he's a Louisville coach. I like that he's fiery. I like his energy, but he's Louisville's coach. So I'm never going to like him. Now I like him if he chooses to go elsewhere, or but and then Rob Wright is number two for that reason. And I know why he did it, and more people are going to do that. Why are you working so hard to get a visit from Kentucky? because the offer you have standing just increased.
That's right. So but look, it's Pope's job to cast a wide net, so he has the most options.
And the same people are griping about this are the same ones that griped last year that he didn't have enough depth. He's fixed that.
Agreed.
He's 2 or 3 deep at most positions.
He's 2 deep at some of them.
That's what I'm saying. He's
playing time. I'd like to have a guy who could play some 5. I'd like to have a 6'11" bulldog that could play small ball 5. We don't have that. I think Njaye, I don't think he's suited for that. He's closer to a 3 than he is a 5.
I agree. A lot of people linking 5 just because he's 6'11". Yeah,
but you and I both know. I mean, KD was 6'11". He ain't no 5.
Yeah, correct. Did you see what Hawthorne said when they asked what position he played?
He's a 2. He's always been a 2.
He said, "I can play 1 to 4, but not to 5."
He can't play the 1.
He can't play the 1 in the
2
SEC.
to 4. I don't think he can play the 4 in the SEC, at least not yet.
I don't see him banging with Florida's front line.
I don't either, but it's almost like this is why I like Milan at the 4. On most SEC teams, the 3 is the most athletic guy, right? Like Correct. He's the guy who's going to put the ball on the floor and go around you, bulldog you. The 3 is the guy who will collapse the defense. There is very rarely an athletic 4 in the SEC that is going to beat a defender and collapse the defense, bring help, and cause issues. I'd rather Milan be defending that guy than a 3.
Correct.
Now we can talk about what it actually happens once the game starts, because you and I both know half the possession you're guarding someone you ain't supposed to be guarding, right?
Yeah. But if you're playing against a good coach and all the good coaches are in there, I mean,
it's all going to get switched around. But I do think it's going to be, Milan, and if you pair him with someone like Cam, who can really do some weak side help and like erase some mistakes, and you've got a guy like maybe if Milan's at the 3, I'd love to see Njaye at the 4, because he can also really good shot blocker. Now you've got 2 rim protectors to pick up that,
and he can shoot the ball to bring a 4 away from the floor.
That's right. So I think it's more about not really where he plays, but who he's on the court with to help kind of. They did a great job of hiding his defensive weakness at ISU. That's one of the top 5 defenses in the country last year. They communicate well. They really got after the ball, a lot of ball pressure. I don't think we're going to see a lot of ball pressure this year. I don't think Zoom's a up in your shorts type defender. He's a physical defender, but he'll let you kind of get on his side and then kind of use his size and length to kind of recover. He's that kind of defender.
Would you be shocked to see Milan at the 3, Annie?
I wouldn't be shocked. No, I don't think I'd be shocked. But I just think that you have to scheme it right.
But imagine going Hawthorne 2, Milan at the 3, Njaye 4. I mean, that's almost 4 7-footers.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about that. Costa Rica at the 3.
Yeah, he's 6'9".
Cam at the 2. I wouldn't mind seeing Cam play some 2. He can guard a 2.
The one discussion we had, and you had alluded to it a little bit earlier, we were always talking about, like, a lot of people love the fact that Mason Williams is a little bit farther along than we thought. I know Drone can play the 1 a little bit if he has to, but I always said that if Zoom gets in foul trouble or whatever, what keeps him from moving Wilkins to the 1? Because they're both 1s.
I think that's what he will do.
Okay.
I do think that's what will happen. I think when Zoom's sitting down, you're probably going to have either Jerome come in if they need someone who can shoot off the dribble. Like if the guys are just every time that dribble handoff, they're going to go under, then you're going to bring Jerome in and let him take a couple of those shots and pay for it. But Correct. Wilkins is a he will put pressure on you. But I do think that Wilkins at the 2, but you got to find room for Cam and Hawthorne and McBride and Milan and all those guys. And moving Wilkins off the 2 spot gets some more size on the court.
And here's the thing too, like, I trust Pope. I feel like he is an intellectual savant. Like, there's no doubt he's smart. I feel like I trust him to find the lineups that work. Like, I really do. But the one thing last year that bothered me, and this is why I said that I feel like he coached different. A lot of, and I know as coaches, I'm going to be a hell of a lot better coach if I got 5 kids that can play than I'm going to be having, I'm going to coach the same way, but if I got 5 kids who can't play, I'm not going to be as good as a coach. That's just the nature of it. But I thought his substitutions last year kind of confused me at times. Like I don't think he let kids play by feel. He had a rotation set time, and when that time came, they came out no matter what.
Well, he's big on efficiency. Like he's tracking your heart rates and shit. Like,
but correct,
he knows how many minutes you can go.
But in the SEC tournament, I was a big fan of Yelovich. Of course, he's European. I still think there's a ceiling there that we didn't get to see.
Oh, I think a lot of it was pretty good
at Ohio State. I said the same thing. But like in one of the games of the SEC tournament, he scored like our first 7 points. Then he comes out at the 14-minute mark and doesn't come back into like the 4-minute mark. I'm like, he literally sits 10 minutes. It's hard to stay in the zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like he was going to transfer all year long because I really feel like we didn't, I'm not going to say what.
I don't think he got correctly. I don't think he got a good shot. He's built for Zoom, and he played almost none of it last year. Like they went to bully 4-ball, bring in Mo, let Mo do some dirty work, let him bang. That ain't what Jelly's good for. I think the average fan looked at him and said he was bad defensively. That's not what I saw. I saw it most of the time. I'm not saying he was great on ball defensively,
right?
But he was a good team defender in the right position, kind of like Noah. I think Noah's a pretty good team defender, always in the right spot, rebounds well. I like Noah, maybe more so than some, but this is going to be a tough year for him to get playing time.
Right, and I just, there was times last year I felt like Noah was our best rebounder.
Agreed. Yeah, he's active. He knows where to be. He reads the ball well.
I've got some people in chat saying, and I don't agree with them, but they're saying that if Pope doesn't win this year, that he'll be fired, blah, blah, blah.
Doesn't win? What does that mean? Quantify that.
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't think they're saying national championship or fired or SEC. I think they're saying kind of like a season last year.
I mean, look, I think if he gets his second weekend, he ain't going nowhere.
I agree.
Do I think he should get to the Elite Eight? I think this team is going to – when we see this team the way it's put together, I think they're going to have a chance to win every game. I think there'll be 10 games they ain't favored in, but I think they're going to have a chance.
Well, I think the SEC is so tough. Now, I do think they got a lot of the harder teams at home. Yeah. Now, they do still have to go to Florida, but I don't know. That'll be a rough one. But
here's what I think.
But
if he's competitive in the big games, even if he loses some of them, if he's competitive and they don't look like they gave up, I think Pope will be fine. I think what fans don't like is Gonzaga and Nashville. I think they hate shit like that. That poisoned the entire season.
Well, and also too, it's like the thing I don't think some of these people are thinking about. He's got a damn good start to 27 right now.
Yeah.
You just think, even if he has a subpar year, which I don't think he will, I think the team's too good. I think they're going to win the games they should, win some games they shouldn't, but they're going to lose a few too. But there's a pretty good chance, they've got Hampton locked down. They're going to get Rosser or Spears. I feel confident with that as well. Then if they get Kusturica for 2 years, Milan comes back, if they fire him, that changes the entire landscape. And I just don't see that happening just for the reason of moving forward. I mean, he's already started well for a guy that can't recruit.
I mean, the first year, man, he beat more top 15 teams than any coach in history and did all that with injuries. Look, I know it sounds like a cop-out to talk about injuries, but that didn't matter. That mattered quite a bit when you lose your starting point guard and you built your whole team around that kid, and he goes out. He never played a healthy game, never had a single game healthy. I mean, it's just you got to bring a combo guard who you expect to be your 2 to come over and play point guard. And that's a hard thing to do, man.
And look at the value of the people that were hurt.
Oh, I know.
I mean, losing your point guard is tough anytime. And then Cam was out. Who was the JQ?
JQ.
I mean, of course, I knew when he came back for St. John's, everybody was talking about Savior. I knew his offensive game wasn't great.
Yeah.
But,
he's just so good athletically, man. He recovers so well.
And I think the Spurs are the perfect place for him.
Agreed.
I think he's going to sit out all year. They don't need him right now. I mean, unless he just, I don't know. I think he sits out all year. He gets healthy. And then when him and Wemby in there together, the rim protection, those guys, my gosh, it's going to be crazy. But I think, glad he got drafted. But, a lot of the talk before was he may slip to the second round. I saw that a lot. And then he gets drafted 20th. I thought, I was happy for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a good kid. I don't think he was, Shaden Sharp. I don't think he was sharping us at all. I think he wanted to play. But, I mean, look, he's going to have a procedure out for 6 months.
Right. And
he wasn't lying.
How much of him not playing at Kentucky was him or his team?
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to play. I think his team wanted to play. I think the medical staff were saying, look, man, you got a future.
See, I thought I read somewhere they cleared him. The medical staff cleared him.
I mean, they cleared him to play, and then when his knee started swelling, they said, hey, we got to pull back on that. Yeah. I mean, clearly, when you're going into another cleanup, there's a reason. Like, if he goes to play for the Spurs and he's in summer league, okay, we can bitch.
Right.
That ain't what's happening.
Right. And it's
but people talking about Pope getting fired if he doesn't, quote, win. I mean, you got to quantify what does win mean. I think
a lot of them are agreeing second weekend.
Yeah, second weekend. But I think if he so what if he's gets beat by a Cinderella team that goes to the Final Four on the second game?
Well, no, let's not talk about that. These fans will love talk about Oakland and St. Peter. A lot of these guys in here love Cal. And I love Cal too, but he's not our coach anymore.
I just think there has to be context, and
that's a good point. Your idea of winning or the way you define winning may be differently than I define winning. I mean, that's a very good point.
I want to be competitive. I want to see fight. I want to see them not give up. I want to see them execute. I want to see them and if they do that, if you look back over Pope's career, he's overachieved as much as he's underachieved.
Look at that first year and the top 15 teams he beat. Kelsey ain't beat a top 20 team in 2 years.
It was crazy. And if we had not been injured, do we think we'd lost in the tournament when we did? I don't think so.
No, I mean, and don't get me wrong, man. In just a short amount of time, Kobe Brea.
His
became one of my favorite players. Loved him.
Yeah, and he actually defended. He was a decent defender. Not a great defender, but he improved in every area of his game. He improved.
And that's why he got drafted. That's why he got drafted.
What's that?
That's why he got drafted. It wasn't just the fact that he could make shots. You got to be able to guard a little bit at that level too. I mean,
you got to not be a sieve. You've got to at least be able to hold a guy for a couple seconds till somebody can help.
But looking at the SEC schedule though, let me see if I can find that real quick. I hope I didn't get rid of that. Oh, piss. I see the football schedule. I was going to look and see possibly I can't remember what teams they had. I know they're playing Ole Miss twice, Vandy and Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee will be good this year, but it's a different kind of good. I don't know if this is the kind of – I think Greg Barnes made the same mistake Pope made last year.
I was going to say, he's going more defensively this year than he's ever gone. I thought Tennessee had a really good roster the last couple of years, and Pope's 4-1 against them.
Yeah.
I mean, and, he 1-1 against Cal. I mean, went down to Fayetteville last year with a bad team and won.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just totally crazy how that.
I mean, we're hard on coaches. Let's just be honest.
BB, that's what I'm saying. And the one thing and they get mad at me sometimes on here because me being a coach, I kind of take the side of the coach.
See things different.
I've been in their shoes. I've been in the shoes to where every win, I'm the greatest coach in the world, and every loss, social media blows up. And that's even at the high school level where I'm losing money by the amount of money I got to give players to eat after a bus ride home.
Sports is a funny thing, Patrick. It's almost like we all think because we played at the YMCA and we play every Saturday at the park and we played high school ball that we all have an equal opinion, you know?
Yep.
But
well,
I call them ball
because
watchers.
they watch Kentucky, they know basketball.
Right.
Or they could coach the game.
I call them ball watchers.
They
watch the ball. When I'm watching a basketball game, 10% of my time I'm watching the ball. You know, like I'm looking to see the chess match.
They make fun of me because sometimes I'll sit with a book and I'll write down a set. Now, granted, I don't have the athletes these guys have.
Yeah.
But if I see something that I think can create me a mismatch for the players I do have that can play, I mean, I can adapt it to the high school level, but I see things differently. I can also see if a guy scores 8, but he's giving up 10 on the defensive end.
Right.
He's minus
exactly.
2.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Crash says Kelsey might be making the same mistake Pope made also. And we've talked about that. How do you feel about Louisville's roster? Do you feel like he just went out and spent – I mean, they gave him a lot of money.
I liked last year's roster for Kelsey better than I do this year.
That's what I said, you know. And I think a lot of what happened was Kelsey made a lot of splashes early in the portal. You know, he signed a lot of people quick. And so I think a lot of people jumped on board as like how good that roster is because he signed them. But I'm not even.
I wouldn't trade this roster for Kelsey's.
No way.
I'm not as big of a Badunga fan as some people are.
I mean, did they pay him $8 million?
God, I hope not.
That's what I heard. Of course, you know, all numbers are inflated. But I heard $8 million, and I was so glad that I don't know how bad Kentucky wanted him if they did.
Well, here's what Kelsey's good at. He's good at beating the teams he should beat, but he ain't beaten no teams he shouldn't have beat yet.
I kind of agree with Marcus. That's 100% true. He's not beat a top 20 team. And Louisville's
had
top 25, and Louisville's had good teams.
Yeah, he's not beat a single team that's finished in the top 25 in Ken Palm in the 2 years he's been there.
And Pope beat what, like 7 or 8 the first year?
Oh, yeah. He beat 8 top 15 teams the first year.
Pat Kelsey has some overrated players, Badunga, Alvaro. Alvaro, I think, is a little overrated. If he's that guy from Iowa, the big, tall guy that beat, I don't think he's that. I mean, but I definitely have not 100% sold on Carter Knox. I'm not.
That's a hard one. When you dig in and watch him, he's not super inefficient, but it could go either way. Hey,
Crash says he's giving you about 34 digital high fives tonight.
Appreciate it.
Peanut says, I don't think we're singing the praises for Keegan Brown enough with this roster.
Dude, I've been on that for the whole – I've been telling everybody. Why do people think that NCAA GMs are negotiating with agents and coming up with dollar figures? And that is not what's happening. There is – I know of one – the guy at UNC and then Woj at Bonnie. Those are the only two guys I know that have any autonomy on what they do. It's the assistants and the head coach that do that. The GMs is the role of the GM in NCAA is to collect data, create a board, put data on the board, point them in the right way, find market value, tell them when you're overpaying and underpaying so that you know, so that the coaches don't have to do all that legwork to figure that part out. That's what the GM does.
I just think the dude's pretty accurate.
He's great. I think he's great. And I think that's why we're whiffing on some of these players that they paid last year.
And that's what I said, you know, with a guy like him who his strengths are finding value in the price or whatever.
He's playing money ball.
You may whiff because we just wasn't going to pay what somebody else was going to pay.
Listen,
and that's smart.
The moment Colin Chandler showed up, I told everybody, they made fun of me. I said he's going to be an NBA pro. This is like that first year when he was having some struggles. I'm like, you guys, this is what an NBA pro looks like a lot of times freshman year, coming back from a 2-year absence, not playing. This is what it looks like. The handle is the last thing to come back, right? And that's what everyone, he doesn't have a handle. No, he has a handle. It just takes a while for that coordination and game speed to catch up. I'm still not in favor of paying him $3.2 million. Let him go to BYU. That's too much for what he can do next year. I'd rather have Alex Wilkins. It is what it is. And I love Colin Chandler. I think he's a great guy. But BYU has to overpay a kid like that because BYU needs guys that can fit into that culture. You can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't have sex, you can't stay out at night, you can't be a college kid. Like, you tell me I can't do that at college, I'm not going to college, you know?
I'm not going there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm
right.
not going there.
Yeah.
But, you know, I also said that Chandler could be a pro. His athleticism will get him to the next league.
Oh, he's going to be a pro, man. There's no doubt about it.
I agree. Crash says, ask Mark what he thinks about the news of Costa Rica liking Cronin personality because it's more Serbian. My bullshit Raider went into overdrive.
Yeah, that's all horse shit. I don't think he gives a shit about Cronin. It's all got to do with Yogi. Yogi's connected. But look,
I'm gonna tell you this: if I was twice as tall as my head coach, I wouldn't go there either.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Mick Cronin's not a great personality. He buries his kids. He puts them. He blames them. I mean, he's probably the last coach I would play for at a high major right now.
And honestly, like, he has said things in public that just like buried his players.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he goes on there and says these guys are embarrassing.
And when you know, people say that, you know, Cal's the players coach, that's because by all means he's defending his players to the fault. Like, you know, there's a lot of times he defended DJ Wagner. I'm like, just call it like it is, man. He didn't pan out. He didn't pan out from what he was in high school. But I like the fact that the coach mentality is, you know, coaches lose every game, players win every game.
Yeah.
I would never ever do what he's done, but I'm not making the money Cronin's making either. But I don't know how he's surviving at UCLA. He's not really done anything. Did they make the final game against UConn several years ago, or am I just dreaming?
I don't remember. I think Cronin had a good run when like his second year there. I think they had a pretty good
when
run.
They had Johnny Juzang.
Yeah.
Did they go to the finals though?
I think they went to the Final Four.
Final Four, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's just
I don't believe it. I'll be honest with you guys. If he ends up at UCLA, I will be surprised. I've always thought that all of that talk was just bullshit.
To be honest with you, if he ends up at UCLA, it's like a win for Kentucky because he's going to be irrelevant for a year. They're going to drift off into mediocrity or stay at mediocrity while Kentucky's, you know, playing on national team. I just can't see why, if you're good enough to play at Kentucky, Duke, Carolina, Kansas, even Louisville a lot of the times, like the big UConn, and some other team comes after you, why wouldn't you want the national exposure? If you're good enough to be there, why wouldn't you want the national exposure? I guess some people can't handle the pressure of it. And BBN is in tune with the players, and hell, they'll be messaging moms and dads and stuff if he don't, you know. But maybe that deters some of it. But
well, Cronin's still there because his buyout is ridiculously high.
Cats by 90 says he's surviving because UCLA doesn't have a fan base that cares enough.
They care about the Lakers.
Yeah, well, right. Crash says I was dreaming, so I must not be right. I like how I got fact checkers in the chat there. When I say something that's off base, they call me out on it. Sometimes I dream stuff and I believe it to be true, whether it is or not. I speak it into existence. Let me see here if I wrote in. How you think Owe will do? You think he'll work his way onto a roster?
Oh, man, why you got to ask me that?
Because I'm an Owe fan and I want him to, but I'm just not sure.
Man, I love Owe, but I see him having a couple year run, but I don't think he's going to last
overseas.
What you need, I don't even know if he's a great overseas player, although he will play overseas. In the NBA, man, it's a one-on-one league, and as good as Owe is, everyone talks about he's a great defender. He's not a great one-on-one on-ball defender. He's a great gap defender. He's great in the passing lanes. He's great at like creating havoc for the other guy, not his man, but the other guy. And that's not what the NBA is. There's a lot of guys in the NBA, big and strong, that can do what he does, straight line drives at the hoops. There's a lot better rim protection in the NBA than he ever saw here. I love him, and I hope he does great, but I don't see him as being the kind of guy that sticks around the NBA on a team for a long time.
That's the kind of the way I feel too. And
yeah.
I'm going to Vegas in the middle of July for a national basketball conference out there. Billy Donovan's speaking, so I'm excited to hear that. But I'm hoping to catch him summer league because it's right in the middle of it. I'd like to see him play in the summer league, but I don't know. Of course, I don't know what the schedule's going to be yet and how that'll work. But I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him do well. Somebody just put in the chat that Oscar Schwebwe is a free agent too. I don't know why he can't find a role somewhere. I mean, the dude's a rebounding machine.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a Rodman.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And UCLA in 21 did go to the Final Four.
Final Four, okay.
Yeah, they were 11th seed, and they beat BYU.
Were they in the playing game?
Yeah. They beat
wow.
Michigan State in the first four. Then they beat BYU, Alabama, and Michigan all the way to the Final Four where they lost to Gonzaga in overtime. And it took Jalen Suggs hitting that half-court buzzer beater to end it.
That's right. I remember that. Okay, yeah. I mean, where would we be right now if Oweh didn't hit that half-court shot against St. Mary?
Yeah. They were only the second first four team in history to reach the Final Four.
Who was the first?
I don't remember.
Was it one of that year that you had Florida Atlantic?
Maybe no, because that was
no. They would have won.
FAU was dusty, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they also had their I
think VCU with Shaka, wasn't it?
Ooh.
What was it? 2010 or 2011? It was the first year that they actually had it, and Shaka beat Georgetown and Kansas and Purdue, and they lost to Butler.
VC. Do you remember when that video clip of Shaka Smart went viral with him in practice where he did the loose ball drill with his team, taking charges from them?
No,
it was crazy.
I love Shaka, man. I've known him for a long time. He's a great guy.
Apparently,
I wish him well. I think he got a bad deal, but I think he's coming back from it.
I do too, and he's a guy that I don't know. I can't say that I coach like him, but I'm pretty fiery on the sidelines, pretty energetic too. So I always when I saw him, it felt like the energy he had was contagious.
Yeah.
The players knew he was giving it all he had.
Yeah.
So in turn, they would give it all they had. And, it got to a while there where VCU, Wichita State, those kind of mid-majors were making runs in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
But, I can see, honestly, more teams like that making Final Four runs now with the transfer portal. I see a lot more parity.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to be a mid-major. I tell you that.
Yeah, because if players are any good, they're going.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to you got to recruit well. I think we'll see more high school players go mid-major and then make the leap.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what, a lot of people mentioned Jake Feldhouse in the, I don't know if Jake Feldhouse is a Kentucky player. I watched him play at Mason County for several years. A lot of them said he played really well. Now, granted, he wasn't the player this year at Madison Central that he was at Mason County. Definitely going to Madison Central made him a lot better. And Mr. Basketball was something he earned, but I don't know if he ends up at Kentucky or if he's capable.
Yeah, I mean, if you really love a kid, don't send him to Kentucky unless he's ready for it.
And that's
turn out well.
And I felt like that was one of the things, and we've had that discussion in the chat. We have some old timers in the chat that remember the good years. And, I feel like deep down, they want a roster full of Kentucky kids. You get a roster full of Kentucky kids, you're not making the NCAA tournament.
Agreed.
And believe me, I thought Dante Allen was a good high school player. Travis Perry and Trent Noah put on a show at Rupp Arena. And I feel like our fans hold those Kentucky guys to different standards. Like Jasper Johnson. Jasper was bad this year. There's no doubt about it. But it felt like some of the Kentucky fans felt like they could get on him and make it personal with him or treat him a lot harder just because he was from Kentucky.
Yeah.
I don't know if now I think Trinity may have or St. X may have a player, an athlete that Kentucky may look at, but I think that's when Cal started going downhill. I think he was kind of forced to recruit some Kentucky kids. Like I said from day one that I thought Dante would would be better suited a lot of other places.
Yeah,
Western. And then I don't know what happened there. He was preseason player of the year.
Yeah.
Then he ends up in Wyoming. I still see him a little bit, but he doesn't, he's kind of a quiet kid. He doesn't talk a whole lot, say a whole lot, but.
And I think that's it. Quiet kid. And UK has never been a great match.
We talked about this. Of course, Shepard had a pretty good run. Dominique Hawk. Who was the last Kentucky high school player that was really good?
Moreno.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Did you see where Reed Shepard appeared in all 82 games this year? I bet there ain't many people in I think it's 3.2% of the NBA players appeared in all 82 games.
Yeah.
You talk about
I really like that kid, man.
Oh.
He's a killer.
And I just think, of course, his dad.
Yeah.
And then his mom was a hell of a basketball player at Corbin.
Yeah.
And then, Reed, just the times I saw him play at the high school level, he struggled a little. You could tell he was good, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But he was being guarded by 3 or 4 guys. And, it was he forced a little bit, as, most high school superstars do. But I thought he would be good at Kentucky, but I didn't think he was a number 3 pick after 1 year.
It's still
hard to believe.
Really hard to believe that, man. Like he shot up. Like I still don't think he should have been the number 3 pick. Like I hate saying that because I love the kid.
Yeah,
but 3, god dang, man.
Yeah, and and then the whole Cal not starting him in Dillingham, and you talking about a guy that the more he shoots, the hotter he gets. Dillingham ain't never seen a shot he didn't like, and some of those shots are hard, but he hits them. I remember that run he went on by himself against Kansas. I think he went on like an 8-0 run by himself, and
yeah, he's awesome, man.
KY till I quack. Oh, here we go. Mentioned Jasper KY till I play like a 3rd grader in the NCAA tournament. Did you see Pope's daughters and what they did to that team picture? Did you see that?
Yeah,
I thought that was good fun. I didn't think that was bad taste.
For me, I came out and said I didn't love it. Doesn't mean I think it's the worst thing in the world, but it just creates drama that I didn't think need to be out there because that those girls are having conversations with their dad and everything they say kind of gets put on his shoulders.
Well, and what I mean,
look,
too, like when we talked about it on here, I thought those girls probably are around those guys a lot. Pope seems to be very.
The fans take it different.
Correct. And I could understand why they thought it was poor form, but I thought it was funny. Crash didn't like the video. I remember we disagreed on that. I remember Crash.
I didn't like the video. Some things are better just left unsaid because they just cause unnecessary drama, especially after you just signed Milan and you just signed, the high school kid Hamilton.
Yeah,
Hampton.
Yeah, Ryan Hampton.
And then a day later that comes out. It was just that's going national. It's going national. Take a little bit of the shine off.
And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think Kentucky men's basketball is the one that tweeted it.
Agreed.
Now part, I think if the girls wanted to post it themselves, I think it would have been worse controversial
had it not been Kentucky basketball tweeting it.
Oh,
and the girls have done it like on their own. I think it gave some credence to the thing that it's just good fun if Kentucky basketball is tweeting it versus we're bitchy about these guys leaving on my personal brand. I thought it was unnecessary drama. There's enough drama in this program.
Now, see, that's 100% true, and a lot of that stuff I don't think about, but that's 100% facts. Like, BBN's going to,
it's just another thing they can use in recruiting.
Listen, I still
better hope you do good, or the coach's kids are coming after you.
Right, right. And I definitely it's kind of, like Kentucky, they're on a high, just like you said, signing those guys, everybody's on board thinking Pope can recruit now because he got the number 1 player in the portal. He got the top 6 guy in the class, and then you create something negative. Yeah, like
exactly. And that took over the whole. But that took over the media cycle.
How many fans do you interact with on Twitter? Because I know you get a lot of them. Oh my God. But how many fans do you interact on Twitter that are still negative right to this day, negative right now about Kentucky?
Not as much to me because I'm pretty quick to
go at them.
Very polite in my replies.
The minute we signed Milan, I saw some just negative stuff, and I'm like, you all have been waiting for this. You all have been wanting this. What is there to be negative about now? And of course, some people say that there could be bot accounts or troll accounts, which I have no idea.
No, I've had too much interaction with them to think they're bots.
Right. And and by looking at a person's name, I don't know if they're a troll or not. I mean, if they got
agreed, it could be a fake fan that's not really a UK fan.
I don't really know how you know that, but says the home schedule is slim pickings.
It's the same as it's always been. 5 big games and a bunch of 200 ranked nothings. But look, if you want to have a good season, that's how you schedule.
Right. You listen. There's some people in high school that go by the 10-10-10 rule, which is pick 10 teams on your schedule that you can win, 10 teams you're probably going to lose, then 10 teams that are toss-ups. Now, I don't want Kentucky losing 10 games. They probably have it different, but they've got to play teams like Georgia State. I mean, you have to.
It's part of the development of a young team. Now, look, if you've got a bunch of juniors and seniors been in the program for 2 years, go ahead. Play a knock it out of the park.
We still have 2 non-conference games to schedule. Any thoughts on who that will be or who they will buy games or high major games?
Man, I forgot that. I heard something the other day on who one of them was going to be.
What?
And it was a pretty good name.
I feel like I read something too, but I can't remember what I read.
Illinois.
Ooh.
Illinois. That's who it was.
That ain't just a good game. It's a great game.
I happen to have a good friend who coaches at Illinois.
Head coach or
used to Antigua? Coach Kentucky.
That would be great, though. I mean,
the day after Illinois Thanksgiving. The day after Thanksgiving, I think.
That'd be a nice game, Dad.
I'd be all for it. Hell of a game. Now it'll probably be not at Kentucky, not at Illinois.
Yeah, like a
neutral site game.
Which, I'm kind of excited about the Indiana game. I'd like to beat the tar out of them.
Well, I got a friend coaches there too, Drew Adams. He was at Cincinnati. The guy that was at Tennessee with Bruce Pearl, he went to Cincinnati. Now he's at Indiana. So I might go up to that game. I should have pretty good tickets, as long as they don't make me sit with the parents.
You can't cheer there. Do you live in Lexington?
No, man. I'm right now. I'm in Argentina.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
My wife is Colombian, and I got a house in Nashville, and we spend half of our time traveling.
So you don't live in Kentucky at all?
No, but I mean Nashville's close enough.
Right, but listen, I don't know your wife, but I've also dreamed several times that I'm going to marry a Colombian. I think they're the most beautiful women in the world.
Well,
the dark hair.
I don't know how to share photos, but
I don't need you to share photos.
I posted it on Twitter before.
I'm not going on there to look. But she's a beauty queen. Well, damn. How'd
you get in the water down here, man?
Ed said, I just looked at the video. Not good, but forgettable. Yeah, a lot of people don't even talk about it anymore. But
that's kind of what I thought. Not great, but not like the worst freaking thing ever in the world.
Let's see if anything's going on Twitter that we can talk about. What time is it in Argentina?
It's East Coast time.
Oh, okay. So you're midnight too. Okay.
Yeah. I just sent you a message on Twitter.
That's Photoshop. You're too damn ugly to have somebody that pretty.
I told you, man.
Your daughter, is that your daughter, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got 3 daughters myself.
And then we got 3-year-old twins.
Oh, I hope they're asleep.
I got 4 girls in my life, man.
I've got 3 daughters, and well, my oldest is at Morehead State, and she's about to graduate in December in engineering. Then I've got one that just graduated high school. She's going to go to cosmetology school. Then I got a freshman in high school. So mine are pretty much grown, but I don't have any basketball players.
Yeah,
they saw Dad coach, and they saw Dad coach. Like, well, I don't want to play for him. He's an asshole.
They play soccer. They play soccer down here. So
how much time does she go to school in Nashville, or?
No, we homeschool.
Okay.
That way we can travel.
I like that. Here's a good question. What happened to John Robick, and what's he doing these days? Any idea?
He is on the NBA staff somewhere doing advanced scouting. I can't remember where.
What happened with him and Cal? Oh, he says Robick's at UNC now. Crash does.
There it is.
He may have went with Malone. What happened to Robick and Cal? Did something happen that?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to say.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, it didn't end up good.
I thought Robick was a big piece of that staff, and
he was. And if you'll notice, that's
started going downhill.
So he went to. So John went to San Antonio as a scout, and briefly moved into administrative role there. And then, as far as I knew, he was still at San Antonio. But if he did go with Kevin to UNC, that would make sense.
Let me see here. Hell, I typed in John Robick and it doesn't even really tell me.
Yeah, I don't know where you would go to find it, but.
Crash, my man. Thanks for coming by. Prayers for your mother. I'll see you next time. Oh, wow. I grew up with 4 brothers and 16 cousins, all boys. Then me and all my brothers and cousins had girls. That seems like that wouldn't be right in the Punnett squares that I learned. Seem like that shouldn't be right.
I think Robick's still at San Antonio, man. I don't know who said he went to UNC, but I don't think that.
Crash said UNC, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah.
I've not seen anything saying that, but I couldn't even find it. It didn't even say San Antonio when I Google searched him. He might be CIA. Hell, he might not want us to find him.
No, he was doing advanced scouting. I talked to him in probably a year and a half ago. And
so where do you work now, or who do you work for? Do you work for yourself?
I'm retired now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I challenged Robick one time on Twitter to a ping pong match because I'm pretty good at ping pong, and I heard he was. So I challenged him, but he didn't answer me.
I play pickleball, which is a grown-up version of ping pong.
Oh, I've never played. I'm sorry, I lied. I played one time in PE class. I happened to walk into the room, and they were playing pickleball on the gym floor, which is a totally different bounce than playing on the pickleball floor.
Yeah.
And I ended up tripping over my feet and eating the floor, so I didn't play anymore after I got laughed at and embarrassed. So I just chose to back away. But there was something I was going to say about Robick, pickleball. Oh, I want you to know, and because you ever heard of Redneck Brawl?
No.
Well, if you go on Facebook or Twitter, type in Redneck Brawl, it usually happens somewhere in like Harlan or Hazard, Kentucky, or Nashville, Tennessee, or it's basically these rednecks signing up to fight people. And if they win, they hand them a $500 check on the way out. Like about 30-some matches, girls and boys, usually more fights in the stands than there are in the ring. But it's 3 1-minute boxing rounds. You can't even hit them while they're down. It's just basically 3 1-minute rounds. I've told my loyal community here that if I get 100 members, I think I'm around 30-some, that I'm going to sign up for Redneck Brawl, and I'm calling out Jacob Polachek of KSR. I'm calling him out. He blocked me on Twitter because I asked him to explain the Kansas sweatshirt he had on right during the Stokes commitment. I didn't realize he went to Kansas. I also understand at that time that it was probably a bad time for him. It was just the wrong time. I don't think I said anything. Crash says, I got back on, just say I think I heard wrong about Robick. So
yeah, I think he's at San Antonio as a scout. Pretty sure.
And so I told them that now, granted, just because I call him out don't mean he'll accept, but I got to have somebody I think I might be able to beat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won't accept.
I'm not a fighter, so if he wants $500,
Jacob doesn't look like a fighter either.
That's why I said I'm going to challenge him. I think I got
exactly.
a chance.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to win, but I think I got a chance. This is funny. Peanut says I should patent the redneck brawl. BRA. And I tell you what's really good is they have a bikini contest after about the 24th or 5th match. And
redneck bikini contest. I'm not sure if I want to see that.
No, well, these women are hand selected, I believe.
Okay, there you go.
We gonna tell this guy he doesn't know Mark Maggard. We gonna tell him.
Oh shit. I don't know. What does he want to know?
You better Google Mark Maggard. He is Kentucky basketball.
Well, I ran a scouting service for 25 years for all the top NCAA teams. So I had Calipari as a client when he was at UMass, then at Memphis, and obviously Kentucky. So I kind of covered the top 500 kids for about 23 years, coast to coast. Spent about 5 months out of the year on the road. That's kind of where I come from as far as basketball goes. Never coached, didn't play at a high level. But scouting is a very unique skill set. And I think probably the guys that are really good players aren't very good scouts, because what it takes to be a good scout is you have to be able to look at a kid's skill set and predict how they're going to improve. And it takes about 5 to 6 years to even get reasonably good at it, to collect enough data set to watch a kid go from a junior in high school to a senior to college to the NBA. My first year, I saw Kevin Garnett play as a junior at Farragut Academy, probably the best high school player I've ever seen. I thought he was better than LeBron. The second best high school player I ever saw was Teddy Dupay.
Oh, I remember Teddy from Florida. Yeah, Teddy.
Dude, Teddy would come across half court. He was Steph Curry before Steph Curry was Steph Curry. He would pull up. He averaged like 33 points a game and just was like ridiculously good. But Pitino kind of got me started. I worked for Nike for 3 years before I went out on my own, and it's kind of how I got into the basketball game.
See, that's cool. I mean, I always said that.
Yeah, Freddie's a cousin.
Freddie?
Yeah, he's a distant cousin.
That's cool. I loved Freddie when he
all the Maggards are Eastern Kentucky people.
Look at this information here. This is from Bruins Report Online.
What's it say? I can't see it.
Breaking big news. UCLA basketball. We're predicting talented Serbian wing Nikola Kusturica to the Bruins. But it's Bruins Report Online that tweets it.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, I've always said it's possible.
Oh, yeah, but I'm not believing anything from Bruins Reports Online.
I mean, I don't believe any of it, but
usually
guys like that don't want to make a call unless they've got some info. But
hey, once I get to 100 members, I'm coming. I'll fly to Chicago. I can drive to Chicago in about 8 hours. Hey, I'll train.
I don't know if you ever want to go boxing in the South Side of Chicago.
Well,
there was even a song about that. South Side of Chicago. Leroy Brown. Jim Croce.
Bad Leroy Brown.
Bad Leroy Brown. I don't think you want to fight Leroy Brown. He got a razor in his shoe.
If Redneck Brawl is going to accept me and they find me an opponent that I can compete with, I'm vlogging it. We're doing it right.
How old are you, Patrick?
I'm 48.
Yeah, I'm 55. So
I don't even listen. The thing that scares me is, well, I was actually 270. I'm diabetic, so they put me on the shot, and I dropped down to like 229. So they would put somebody in my weight class, but I'm not a fighter. Like, he hits me one time in the jaw, I may just throw up in a corner and say I'm done. Like, that hurts.
But you need to pull one of these things where one of you takes a dive in the second round, you split the money.
Split the money, $250 a piece. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I'll take a shot in the face for $250.
Listen, and some of those women fights, they are way more violent than the men. Like, they're in there throwing hands. Redneck Brawl. I think the next one.
Someone said they can't believe Travis Branham these days. Yeah. Let's talk about that, because I think this might help people watching. So you have to understand how the game works, okay? It's even worse now that there's actual legal money involved and it's millions of dollars. All of these agents that have come into the game, they used to be runners when I was in the game. Like the same guys that are in-out agents now were running for NBA agents 15 years ago. That's how I know so many of them. But the thing that you have to understand is guys like Travis, he's not a basketball guy. He's a reporter. It's different. Like guys that are in the game, like guys who run scouting services, guys who can help you with a kid, you're not going to fuck with them. You're not going to lie to them or use them. You're not going to damage their credibility because that credibility can help you in the future.
Correct.
The media guys, they're in play and they get manipulated all the time. That's why I've always said these guys that are media, they don't have the same kind of juice because they're just like whatever information they can give, they're going to run with it. They're used by coaches, they're used by agents, they're used by family members. It used to just be family members and agents that got you family members and coaches would use them. And full disclosure, I think everybody who knew me back in the day knows that I would like carry water for Kentucky when I needed to.
Right.
Sorry. I'm a fan. Like if they need something put out, there was a reason 20 of us were at when Marcus Teague committed. There's a reason 25 of us were there.
Right.
Kyle called me and said, "Hey, get up there. Make sure he doesn't chicken out." But like guys like Travis, they're going to get used and people will set you up. They'll give you good information until they need you to report something that will help them. And if it's going to make them another $1 million, they're going to use you.
And he says that's what I was referring to. Brandon's one of the most credible. Usually agents are flat out lying these days.
That's exactly right. They're literally doing misinformation if they think it will help them. And the other thing
who is giving him that information? Is it the agent?
Teresa's the agent.
And they're okay with giving out false information, trying to drive up the price?
Money. They don't need Travis for anything. What do they need him for?
Right.
Like if it's a guy like me that knows who the cousins and the uncles are, and I've seen the kids since it was 8th grade, and I know how everyone's connected. Like in the old days, coaches used guys like me instead of these agents. They would have us do all the back channel work to figure out who's making the decision. What's he saying? And I would get guys from Kansas ask me what's Kentucky doing, and guys at Kentucky ask me what's Kansas doing. And they would only tell me what they knew would be good enough to kind of pass on.
Right.
Coaches don't talk to each other about who they're recruiting. They have no idea what the other guy's doing. They use intermediaries to kind of back channel it. That's how the game's played, man.
Yeah, it just seems dirty though. But I understand,
money in this game now.
And what's the agent's job? To get his client the most money.
That's it. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
What percentage do agents get?
It depends. It's negotiated. Usually
it's not the same per player.
7 and 15%.
But is it like the same per player no matter who they sign?
Oh no. They sign for different. They'll sign for different.
But it's kind of shitty for Kyle though, or for Travis.
No, 100% shitty for Travis. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But he was told Kentucky was leading so that Michigan and UCLA would up their offer. And then he was told that, no, Kentucky's not going to be it. Pull your pick. So that then Kentucky would up their offer. What do fans expect him to do? Report what he's told or not?
Sure.
You lose either way.
They're going to get mad if he don't.
And this is the first time this agent had anybody of this caliber. How does Travis know he's been played?
You almost feel like you have to believe what they tell you.
Until they prove that you can't believe them. What has Travis put out since then?
Very little.
Not a damn thing. Because he knows he's been burned.
It's just so if this same agent reaches out to Travis now, what would Travis even take a chance putting out what he said?
Oh, no, he wouldn't put it out. He'd confirm it. He'd use it as a point source, but he would want to confirm it. He'd probably call the coach and say, hey, coach, I'm hearing that X, Y, and Z. Is that true?
So does Branham and these guys have direct lines to the coaches, or there's people on staff they talk to?
Not necessarily coaches. It's almost always assistants. I never called Coach Cal. He would call me, but I would call Antigua. I would call, Strickland, some of those guys.
Now, he says, now that it's after the fact, any truth to the rumor that Milan silently committed to UK about a week before announcing June 1st to fulfill NIL obligations at Iowa State?
I guess that depends on what your definition of committing is.
He talked about, go back and watch the interview he just had with Maggie Davis. He talked about, he called Pope one evening and Pope was on vacation. And he said he thinks Pope already knew he was committing.
Pope knew.
That's why Pope was sitting in. He said the day that he committed, that picture of Pope sitting in the chair on the phone with his glasses, he said that was the day he committed, but he committed later on that night. He thinks he already had that. He thinks his daughters took that picture because he knew he was committing.
Yeah, it was always stay in the draft or come to Kentucky. It was never anything else.
I mean, I wish I would have known that about 3 or a month ago, probably. I probably would have got a lot more sleep. I don't know how many times people were calling me. Every time somebody put something out, it was like, I don't know, Kentucky fans go crazy.
Well, there's a lot of information happening these days that you just can't. If you don't know how, if you don't know what the motivations are, it's hard to spot where the potential bad information is.
And that's the thing I run into a lot online. Like, I have no idea if that person's real or not. How do you know whether to believe it or not? I don't have sources that I can just reach out to and say, is this true? I just take them for, if they tell me something and it's right. Like, there's a guy on Twitter, and I'm not for sure who it is, but his Twitter's name's like Stein Studs. He's direct messaged me a couple things that ended up being true. He said the same thing about Milan like you did. Like, he said it for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. He's been right on several things, and I just don't. I mean, same thing with that Elijah. I don't know who. I mean, how do these people get these sources, and who are they?
Yeah, I'm not sure about Elijah. I think the only thing I think he said at some point that he went to the NBA thing. He's trying to get into coaching or something.
Yeah, he's coaching high school basketball at Paris right now, and I wish I had a chance to talk to him about that. I know those guys, but he there was something else. Oh, Crash says he knows somebody that works in the athletic department. Of course, he doesn't ever say who, and it's, I would never ask, but he works in the actual athletic department. So when he says something, it may not happen when he says it's going to happen, but it usually happens. Like, he's got some good information somewhere. I took a lot of he told me that Milan was going to – he said Milan was coming to Kentucky. He's going to commit on this day. So, of course, we talked about it on the show. I was pretty confident he was committing that day. And he didn't. And you can imagine what my DMs were like.
Yeah. I never knew what day he was going to actually announce. I didn't really care, but I just knew it was never going to be anybody but Kentucky if he exited the draft. But it makes sense. I mean, he knows Pope. The system's perfect. They got the most money. It's exactly the system he needs to improve his draft stock in the NBA. I don't know. Like, Louisville was never going to be that place.
Right.
Like, imagine him on Louisville's roster. That makes no sense.
I didn't know if even Louisville had room at the time. I mean, I thought their roster was pretty well full at that time. So I never thought he was really a Louisville guy. I mean, but if they were already 30 million in the hole, what's another 10 million,
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to go put my kids to bed.
All right, man. I appreciate
they won't
you.
go to bed till I hug on them.
If you ever want to talk basketball, reach out. I can use you anytime.
Have a good one.
All right, man. See you.
We'll see you guys.
Let me see here if I can. All right. That was kind of a surprise. Don't think I expected don't think I expected Mark Maggard to be in the chat. So I do appreciate him jumping in. All right, one more thing I want to show you. It's getting our 82.5. No, Marcus, I don't think he was never on Stokes committing. I don't think, because I reached out to him separately on that. He never told me. I don't know if I believe that, but anyways, I saw this video here, and it is a little long. It's about 3 minutes, but if you've not seen it, it's when Otega Owe got drafted. It's a pretty cool video.
Today is the day that I've been working and waiting for my whole life. It's draft day, 2026. Like a long time coming. So, it's just a bunch of nerves, excitement. Ooh, you crazy. Like I said, I've been waiting for this, like since I was a kid. So it's more of like just the excitement to prove my younger self right, really, do that. So it's draft day. I'm excited.
It's a beautiful story, though. I'm blessed to have him as a brother, and Kalen as well. We just pushed each other to be dominant, and I'm glad all the hard work is paying off and the draft. Right now. Say words. Say words. Say words. Say words.
It's a super special moment. I feel like this is, this is for the crib. Like, you have an army. When you're growing up, people watching you. People rooting for you, cheering for you, and supporting you when you're younger. So, this is like something I'm glad I could do. At home, and hopefully just get my name called and celebrate with the people that I came in this with and started with.
With the 41st pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Miami Heat select Otega.
What do you think those feelings are going to be like?
It's going to be like a relief, like just weight off my shoulder, excitement. I feel like I could kind of take a breather, because this whole process is anticipation. Like, this is the first time in a while, like I ain't been a part of a team, like not knowing like what team I'm a part of. So that like weight off your shoulders, like all right, now you could pivot, step forward. So
yeah, what responsibilities come with getting your name called?
This was just being a pro. It's basketball 24/7. I feel like that's a dream. Like that's everybody's dream. So just giving it your all. Like there's no other things that I really got to worry about besides my family life, besides basketball. Like, it's all basketball really. So that's an adjustment that I'm excited for. Like honestly. Coming to Kentucky 2 years, it changed my life. You come to Kentucky and you have a lineage of history that comes way before you, and you just want to be great, just like them, and you want to support them, and you want to do everything that you can to put yourself in a position to be mentioned with those guys. So coming to Kentucky was just a blessing, man. Just 2 years of my life just went upwards, and that's all because of BBN and them just believing in me. So. I'm just excited I could do this, having my past be a Kentucky Jet.
I'm not going to lie. I thought that was a cool story. I thought that was a very cool story. just to appreciate Ortega, what he's done for Kentucky the last 2 years. I'm 100% happy and glad that he got drafted. I don't think anybody else deserves it or earns it. I hope he works his way onto a roster because I know what work ethic he's got. I hope he doesn't just play in the NBA. I hope he stays in the NBA. And that's what I'm about, But I will say this. I saw a couple things in chat. This is 100% true. I know for a fact, and I also know for a fact that Crash never said Stokes was coming to Kentucky. I know that for a fact. A couple people are asking about Ortega's baby. That is his baby. They just welcomed he and his girlfriend Stark. So he has a girlfriend named Stark, and they just welcomed their first baby. They shared the joyful news on social media, which has touched the hearts of many fans. Marcus, Captain Crash does share a lot of information with us, and a lot of it is 100%, he's 100% right. And it's not that it's a big deal, but you're putting something on his name. You're saying something, his name that he didn't say. So it's not like it's a big deal, but it's almost losing his credibility. Yeah. Somebody's asking for $500. I just want Crash 99 cents a month. So, but I can tell you this. I feel 100% certain that Crash didn't say anything about Stokes, and I don't remember him saying anything about Freeman either. So I know we talked about Freeman on this show. I was the one who said I thought Stokes was coming to Kentucky. So I whiffed on that. But, I agree, Jake. Jake, you didn't answer my question. I tagged you in a couple. You made this big, bold statement, Jake. I did it. And you couldn't fulfill your end. I appreciate you saying that, Peanut. And to be honest with you, Crash usually doesn't say something or tell me. He said on here several times that, he wouldn't say nothing because he didn't feel comfortable saying it, So, but, with that being said, I'm not going to argue, but I do know. All right, guys. I got I told you I've been working on this big project. And I have. I'm creating my own Stay Hot trading cards series. Okay. Now, I've asked AI. These are legal. Unless I'm trying to sell them commercially, but I'm not. I'm going to give them away probably as, for donations or prizes. But I've started a series. And if you've been following this show, hold on here a minute. And if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, I even mentioned it a little bit earlier that I've created a Stay Hot Ops list, right? Stay Hot Ops. So the people who are on my op list are obviously adversaries, right? Okay. So, what's up, Carl? What's up? So, Marcus, if you believe you read it, there's nothing we're going to be able to do to convince you of that. You know what you read. I know what Crash has told me. I know what statements he's made on this show. You're not going to convince otherwise. And if you didn't give a damn, you wouldn't have brought it up. But enough said about that. But anyways, I'm creating the Stay Hot Ops trading card series. There's going to be 10 cards in the series. Okay. I've already made 3. I'm going to show you the 3 I made because I want something that's going to be kind of our own. And I will even take suggestions from the community that we have built here on who some of the ops should be. I've told you my number 1 op is PTKelsch. There's my Stay Hot trading card series. It's not copyright on. It's not copyrighted because I didn't use any of the things of the Garbage Pail Kids, but they are Garbage Pail Kid inspired. You can see I got the Stay Hot Ops trading card series. At the top, it says 1 of 10, first series. But I thought I did some pretty funny stuff in here. Look at the name of the Pop-Tarts. All right, I called them Pope Tarts. Got a little Big Blue Nation reference. I got the Stay Hot image there on his mug. And then down here in the corner, bottom left corner, what do you see? Mo and Mo's. Instead of M&M, we got Mo and Mo. So we've got Marino and Momchilovich down there. So that's number 1 trading card I've created. Who'd I tell you my number 2 was? I told you my number 2 was Rob Wright. I don't know if I will ever get over Rob Wright. All right. But you see I got Rob right here. We got the Stay Hot podcast graphic on the basketball. You got him signing his contract, wrong way right. Thought that was kind of clever since he chose to go the wrong way. He's got the Say Nope to Pope. I even did a little thing of the Banner Boy. He's got the Come Home Right. And my 3rd card that I've already made, I did, and this was all inspired by, they're inspired by the Garbage Pail Kids, but I've talked to some people and kind of how I've made them my own. Like it's not something that's going to be in a store, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But they do look like the old ones. But my 3rd one is in Dusty, No Trusty. And I got pissed off at Dusty May when he started negatively recruiting against Kentucky. We talked about it earlier. We talked about how he was, telling players not to come to Kentucky. Pope probably wouldn't be the coach. And so you see on his clipboard, I've got dirty recruiting, check. Jump ship, check. I got a little bag down here in the bottom right corner. It says Dark Cuban because that's where he's going. And this is 3 of 10. So those are the first 3 in my series, 1, 2, and 3. So I'll take suggestions on some Kentucky ops. I think we'll have to watch some games this year before we add to it. But I'm going to make a series of 10. I'm actually going to order these trading cards so I can have them in hand. But that's something I'm working on here. I might have some giveaways. I think they're cool. I want to make something our own. So I've not seen any other channel do trading cards. So I used to collect trading cards when I was younger. So I've always been kind of a fan of trading cards. So I thought that was kind of neat to kind of put those together. Thought they were creative and I worked hard on doing that. So you all might get a piece of Stay Hot history. All right, Carl, I see your comments here. Let me look. What do you think the football team is going to do this year? Well, Carl, I'm very happy with Coach Stein. I'm really happy with the roster he's put together, the recruiting he's done. I still think the SEC is tough, especially on a first-year coach. I'm going to say 7-5 is the highest I think they can do. 7-5, 6-6 range is what I would go with. Are you going to watch Redneck Brawl 14? Absolutely. I'm a paid member of the Redneck Brawl. Redneck Brawl 14. Listen, Carl, I've got like 30-some members now. If I get to 100 members, I'm getting in Redneck Brawl, and I may need you to train me. You whip Sasquatch's rear end. I saw you. Saw you. Ooh, James, that is a good one. Oh. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ho. There's my dude right there. Look at that logo in the top right-hand corner, crew. 14K Sports Media, baby. We're just getting going. That's my boy Krug right there. Dan Dockich. Ooh. I might call him Dan Jockich. Ooh. Absolutely. I love supporting the other shows. Cattykin runs a good show, man. You're not going to see me dog other shows. Elijah, let me see here. As I leave tonight, I want to say that I believe Nikola's recruitment will be done sooner than later. A team needs to get him cleared. Expect him to be at Kentucky rather than not. I saw where the Broen Sports Report or something put out a tweet saying that they predict him at UCLA, but why wouldn't a Bruins show, expect him there? But Elijah, man, sorry. I'd like to get you on again sometime. Sorry it didn't happen tonight, but I do appreciate the time you gave us. Much love, man. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for coming on. Oh, you're in the next one? You're going against Randy Neese? Oh, I know who Randy Neese is. He's the guy that thought he was bad because he whooped Daryl Hinkle. I think I could whoop Daryl Hinkle, and I'm not even a fighter. Carl's going against Randy Neese. Uh-oh. I wish I could stream it on here, Carl. We'd have a watch party, but love you, brother. Yes, sir. 14K Sports Media. You know it. Hey, guys, if you're still in here, we got one of our own right here. Going to be in Redneck Brawl 14. You can watch it at redneckbrawl.tv, I believe. Like $19.99, but you're getting like 35 fights. You're getting a ring girl contest. And I will tell you this. I pay $20 a month for the subscription. And I can tell you that the night that it's on, and I think it's coming in August 14th, maybe, August something, sometime in August. But I can tell you this. It is the most entertainment that I have in a night is watching Redneck Brawl. Hey, and I'm going to be, Carl Miller, when you whip, August 15th, when you whip Randy Neese and it gets on YouTube, then I can show it. I can't stream Redneck Brawl live, and I can't, they would flag that real quick, and they'd probably take my channel down. Redneck Brawl wouldn't like that if I was taking money away from them, because if y'all could watch it here, you wouldn't pay to watch it yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I'm happy to hear that, man. I'm thinking about buying tickets. If I can find somebody to go with me. But hell, man, I'd probably end up in a fight in a crowd or something. He won't last more than 30 seconds. Damn, Carl. Bold statement here. I need to get Randy Neese and Carl Miller on here, stream them live. Have a little debate. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you coming by. Appreciate you coming in for the show. Donnie Freeman's a possibility. But I think we can find a few more ops. Yeah, Sasquatch, he don't really fight, though. He just wants to lay on you, man. Yeah, I want to go to that so bad, Jake. But I get back from Vegas, I think, on the 14th. if I can get down to Louisville on the 17th, I'm going. I saw Big Mike tweet that out, and I think somebody even messaged me and told me about it. Yeah, if nothing else, I just love to meet you guys. Howdy doody, Rick Barnes. I could probably do one of all the SEC coaches. Hey, just so y'all know, I got one of Calipari too, but I ain't done with it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try. Does it cost anything to get into the Melwood Tavern, or is it just kind of like you show up, be a part of the show, eat, whatever? I think he almost kind of looks like a squirrel with those cheeks. But yeah, I'm going to do those and give you all a chance to win those, or, you know, so we can have a part of Stay Hot history. Nobody else is doing that. So, but yeah, Stokes is going to be a big one. Calipari going to be a big one. I'm not going. Somebody mentioned Patino. I'm not going to do one of Patino. He's back on our side. Patino. Todd Golden. Problem is, I've got to make him look kind of not like him. I don't want to, lose. I don't want to get sued for. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate it. My man, Jake. My heart's been hurting ever since I chugged that Pepsi. And I ain't got shit to show for it. But a heartburn. Listen, guys, we've been on here 3 hours. It's 12:41. I probably feel like I could do another 20 minutes, make it an even 1 o'clock. Guys, I want to especially thank Elijah for coming on. I really enjoyed talking to him. Carl, where you been, my man? Carl, what do you think about that, Carl? This redneck brawl will be in Tennessee, I believe. Ooh, I could do all three of them in one card, maybe. Maybe. But, something with barns, I might just do something with a stable and animals. Who knows? Whatever my creative juices flow. Carl, you see my puking Pat? He's even got some Pope tarts down here. Cheesy pustules? Ugh. And that was one of the things, like, you're not allowed to even use the same name or packaging in like this candy, copyright stuff runs deep. Mountain Ooze down here. I'm planning on being there, man. I really am planning on being there. I'll see if I can get somebody to ride down with me. Maybe I can get the Toddcast or somebody ride with me. May just stay in Louisville overnight. I don't know. That's a 2-hour drive for me, but yeah, what was that guy's name? Wilkinson? What was his first name? Wilkinson. You know what I'd like to do for my second series? I've already been thinking. For the second series, of course, I would change up the card, but I'd like to do people in our chat with your all's permission. I'd reach out to you. I'd like to do a peanut butter or a Jake or Carl or Travis or Josh or James. Jeremiah Wilkinson. Yeah, he didn't want to go to Kentucky and just be another body or another nobody. I'd rip Clyde apart in there. I love it, man. We got so many. I might do a 20-part series. Yeah, you can use this website and they'll print it. Actually, it looks like a trading card. Lamar Wilkinson, that's right. Guys, What do y'all think about Milan Momcilovic saying that Pope wants him to shoot 10 threes? You're right. Lamar Wilkerson. That's right. Meaning I'd make you a good card. I'd definitely have you on the list. I'd probably make 4 of you for all your accounts. You'd be 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4. Listen, Carl, I'm sitting here wishing I could figure out a way to stream it. If you're in the first, Sasquatch is usually towards the end, but if you were fighting within the first hour, it's on Facebook. I could stream that, and you'd have a hell of a watch party. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm all right if Momcilovic shoots 15 threes a game. But I can tell you this, Carl. Every match ends up on Twitter at some point, or on YouTube at some point in time or another from Redneck Brawl. And after it's over and does, I'll definitely show it on here. Did you all see where La Familia put a silhouette out on Twitter today? So they got a big announcement tomorrow of somebody they just signed. I'd love for it to be Sheboy, but I've already heard that. I get it, man. You got 14 more minutes. 14 more minutes. You can do it. I got to get up early and take my daughter to work tomorrow, but you know what? Hey, play fun. I loved it. I've loved being on here, but you know, I thanked Elijah. I also want to thank Mark Maggard. You don't know how I was kind of like fanboy when I saw Mark Maggard in the chat. Like I followed him for a long, long time. He was who I followed in the recruiting game. And then when he was on chat and said he'd come in, man, I'm not gonna lie, guys. My viewers, there were about 185 deep for at least an hour, hour and a half when he was on here. The man still knows his stuff, still has good information. That's somebody that I'd love for it to be Antonio Reeves. You know, and sometimes I don't like having guests, but if I can get a guest like Mark Maggard that contributes to the show and brings the information he brings, I'll let him on anytime he wants because, you know, he brought good information that I wouldn't have known, or he just talked about his job as a scout and what all he did and what his connections were. And, you know, seems like the job was pretty good, but, you know, I appreciate him coming on. I didn't know he was retired though. Hopefully he subscribed to the show. I will say this. My subscribers jumped about 29 tonight. We're stuck on 759, so we're getting there. I know I saw you say Oscar's a free agent, but somebody said he already said that he like La Familia reached out, but he wouldn't do it. He may have another contract. Yeah, I did too. I really liked him. He's definitely a kind of a bully type that can shoot it, knock it down. How many threes? I don't expect Zoom to. He'll shoot what he's open. I'd say he won't shoot any more than 3 or 4. There may be games he shoots more, games he shoots less. If he can get downhill, we want him to get downhill and create. Really good in the pick and roll. So if somebody goes under the screen, he may create a shot. I don't know. I don't look for him to shoot many, but if the whole team is more assists than threes, I agree. But if the whole team is shooting 30 threes a game or 30 plus, a lot of threes go around there. Ooh, Boogie would be a good get, but I doubt Boogie's in shape. Boogie's too busy on everybody's podcast giving them hell and trolling them. I have heard Alex Poitras' name mentioned. That's true. But I think where we have a lot more spacing and more shooters around the point guard this year, he'll have more driving lanes than threes, but I think he's just as good a shooter. Ooh, but I think he's under NBA contract, Carl. unless I'm just missing something. If you're under an NBA contract, you can't play in the La Familia, or otherwise we'd probably have Anthony Davis. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind seeing somebody like Rondo, but he's too old now, but he could still play in that league, I'd say. I am a little... Oh, another good one. Oh, I think John Wall's too worried about getting hurt now. He's finally healthy. He's a GM somewhere making money. He probably said, I ain't going out there doing that stupid stuff. Mintz might not be a bad one. And I liked Mintz. I'm not going to lie. I thought he gave us everything he had. Hey, Kentucky wins, you lose. Can you believe Jake Cornette set me up? You wasn't on here, so I'm going to gripe to you. Jake Cornette set me up. I thought we were loyal friends. Burner Turner. He's getting a little long in the tooth, too. I love John Wall, but there ain't no way he's going to go out there and risk his injury. Or risk an injury, I wouldn't think. He'd still be in the NBA probably if he wasn't. Well, no, he's been 16 years now. Me too. I love Lamont Butler. And we got an injured Lamont Butler. All right, Kentucky wins, you lose. Jacob Cornette made a bold statement. He said if I chugged a full Pepsi, I'd gain a new member for every can that I chugged. Okay? I chugged this right here and didn't get a new member. Now, Jake's already a member, so he made a bold statement for somebody else. While I'm loyal to my community, I think some of them are proving they're This is what's being said on Twitter. I hope it's not Kerr Kriisa. I like Kerr, but I don't think he can help them win. I could be wrong. Now, here's what I know. Here's what I know. He gonna stand up to him. He ain't scared. Oh, he's way too old. Him and John Wall are way too old. They're 30-plus years old now. I know Archie Goodwin will probably be there. I did see where they brought the guy that transferred from Kentucky, the guy that played well in the TBT last year. Who was he? Transferred from Kentucky. He's living in Lexington now. He's all over Twitter. He gifted a Stay Hot membership. MKG would be nice. Good one. My man Jake came through for somebody else. Make sure that you have your ability to accept memberships. You can use the L's down emoji. You can use the power K. Yeah, he's starting a revolution or a movement for stuttering. I applaud the work he's doing. Jake, love you, brother. I'm just messing with you, my man. Appreciate you. I honestly think well, that's true, but Archie's kept him playing shape. He's kind of Whitney, Khalil Whitney. Yeah, he's back. Hey, Willie Cauley-Stein's playing in his last TBT. Let me just show you all this. When Jake gave that membership, Andrew Carr be a good one. Brandon Knight, still getting it. I mean, I think he's 2011. Archie was removed from the roster. What? Let me see if I'll do some digging on that tomorrow to see if I can find out why. That hurts. Archie was good. When Jake just gifted that membership, I thought it had to be somebody that was already in the chat. But no, it's anybody that's a subscriber. And here's the guy who won it. I'm not 100% sure that I've seen this guy in any of our chats. Lionel Rojas El Pro. I still appreciate it, Jake. Still appreciate it, my man. That's who it is right there, Goose Givens. Ooh, little scoop. Mario mentioned, if it's Antonio Reeves, I might chest butt the air. I'll make a short video of me chest butting if it's Antonio Reeves. But if it happened recently, Carl, it's probably not updated yet. Goose at 80 is still cooking somebody. He still go cook. Yeah, Mercer's way too old. He graduated. He quit playing from college in 96, 97. He's almost 50. Big Z is still on it. He's still on a roster. He didn't graduate from Illinois yet, did he? Guys, you all know whose birthday it is today, since it's after midnight. Let me just show you whose birthday it is. And I'm sure you all know, because I'm sure you've probably been on Twitter. Big Z still playing. Lamont Butler's with the Hawks. Look whose birthday it is. Y'all know that man? Who is that man? Oh, where'd it go? I didn't know I stopped sharing. Oh, Clyde said a good old Tubby. That is Orlando Tubby Smith. I'll show you. Of course, Corey Price put this out there. Corey Price must have a subscription to like Yearbook or something. Oh, good one, Chris. Richard Pryor. I see the resemblance. I see it. But it is Orlando Tubby Smith. That's Tubby Smith, but I thought it was Richard Pryor. I agree, man. That's a good call. Good call, Chris. Hell yeah. That's great. That's Tubby Smith, Jake. Corey Price said so. Did you all see where Ja Morant got traded? He got traded to the Portland Trail Blazers. I think Memphis was tired of putting up with him. They got him really cheap on the low. So if he keeps his head on straight and comes in ready to play, he could that could be one of the biggest steals in NBA history. Have you all seen I'm not even gonna show it, never mind. Hey, he needs somebody in his ear that's going to tell him, straighten up. Straighten up. Dude's an unworld talent. Straighten up. Peanut, I'm not touching that. Does anybody in here keep up with the World Series of Poker? Michael Mizrachi just won another bracelet. This dude is unreal. He won the 10,000 pot limit Omaha championship for $1.3 million. Wonder where Negreanu finished at. He was cooking after the first couple of days. Michael Mizraki is unreal. How old is Tubby Smith? Let me look for you. How old is Tubby Smith? Tubby Smith's birthday is today, and he is 75. He is 75. Yep, he sure did. He sure did. He does. That's why he needs to keep his head on straight. Phil the Brat Helmuth. 78. Hey, maybe Tubby can coach La Familia. Hey, that's nice. I'm going out to Vegas in the July 9th. I plan on going checking some out. I'm not going to play in any of those big tournaments or anything, but I'll probably play some cash games. Reds just lost another game to the Brewers. Make that 4 in a row against the Brewers. No big surprise. Ellie did hit a home run from the right side of the plate. Reds were up 3-0 before they lost 5-3. Scored 3 runs in the first. Well, he hit the home run in the 5th. 3-0 in the 5th and lose. Biloxi's nice. Tunica. Oh, I'll definitely go live from a Vegas hotel. You better believe that. I'm going to a let me see if I can find it. I'm going to show you all, everybody, Coaching You. What's it called? Coaching You. They're like 4 and 18 now. That's what I just said, Josh. Oh, man, why is it low? No, why? When I want to show it, it says site can't be loaded. No, Reds got beat. No, I don't play any online stuff. It's illegal. It's illegal in the United States, Carl. Site can't be reached. Anyways, I know I'm getting ready to see come on. Damn it. I can't. I know Billy Donovan's the keynote speaker, but there's a lot of NBA college coaches, WNBA coaches that are speaking at a conference. It's the national conference in Vegas. So I'm kind of excited to go. I've never been to Vegas, but I think it's at a very good time. If I get a chance to check out some NBA Summer League, and the World Series of Poker, so I'm excited. Oh, the only teams I could watch was the Cubs on WGN and the Braves on TBS. Did you see that catch? Oh, my. Josh, you're repeating yourself. We just talked about that. He got drafted and then traded. He got drafted by the Heat, traded to the Thunder. I watch the Sox once a week. Yeah, they were on WGN some, but the Cubs seem to be on there a lot more. All right, guys. I said 1 o'clock. It's 1:03. I can't thank you guys enough for continuing to stop by. The chat was popping tonight. A lot of great comments, a lot of great people. I appreciate each and every one of you. I can't tell you enough. But I know tomorrow it's going to be hot again. So while you're trying to find a way to stay cool, stay hot.